Record.
Record.
My notes just in case, even though I know it, but we'll.
Okay.
Just
All right,
you
ready?
don't want to start flubbing.
Of course not. There's no record of me ever flubbing
No.
the intro, so. Hey up, Residers, and welcome back to another episode of the Lonely Boys podcast. My name is Matt. I'm one of your titular Lonely Boys, and I'm here to break down Season 5, Episode 17 of Gossip Girl, The Princess Dowry. But I'm not by myself. I am here with someone who only has to stay married for another 8 months to avoid having to pay Nicole a very expensive dowry. It's Brendan Ruppel.
Hello, I'm your co-host, of course, the Creepy Uncle of podcasting, aka Uncle Cream. Hi, Aloha Cream Nation. I'm recording live as always from the crematorium. I'm the editor-in-chief here at Cream Weekly. Dr. Officer Cream reporting for duty.
Cream, yes,
Cream,
cream.
yes, cream. And AK of all creams are bastards. And fart
You really
noises,
mumbled
too.
that last part.
all creams are bastards.
Because it seems like we have someone here that, not to introduce our guest too early, but someone here, I guess, is more of the camp of all creams are bastards, because she did not salute with us, and she very well knows the salute.
Oh, so that's what threw you off.
I think
the
this
fact that
annulment is coming way sooner than 8 months.
is in studio in the crematorium. A little hint as to who might be in studio here. Yes, that is true. We had a little bit of a last minute cancellation. So I told Brendan, I said, check your home, whoever happens to be lying around in there.
Hey, get out from under the bed. We got a podcast to
someone,
record.
please. We're podcasting in an hour, and we need a guest. Please do whatever you can. And because of that, we now have back-to-back episodes where someone is joining the Six Timers Club. She's the third member of the Six Timers Club, and she is the second half of that aforementioned dowry that Brendan will have to pay if they don't
The Ruppel
they end
household
up getting the
will be
marriage and
bankrupt.
the old. And Brendan, you usually introduce this guest, but I'm taking it from here. It is wife of the pod. You know her, you love her, Nicole Ruppel.
Yay! Woohoo! Hi, guys.
How many times have you been here as wife now? Is this the second or third time?
Second?
So it gets mixed up with the OC, but...
Oh,
Might even be first.
it might be first
On
for
Lonely
Gossip
Boys,
Girl.
It might
Wow.
be first.
Yeah, because I was
mean,
definitely on Sandy
It was here
Boys.
season 5, episode 2, which would, I guess, be 15 weeks ago. Which, you know what, 4 months, that's like right around the wedding, right?
Yeah,
4
might have
months
been
ago.
right after.
Might have been.
I don't
You guys
know.
might have been newlyweds. You guys might have been in the midst of planning the wedding. Who
I think
knows?
we
Who
were
knows
still
what we
wearing
interrupted you to
our
do?
wedding garb during that episode.
You were-
Yeah.
Recorded.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
It
Nicole was
just
in the
before
wedding dress.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before. Yeah, it was before we did any video.
It was we were doing it during the speeches at the wedding.
Yeah,
She-
and my dad was in the background yelling.
she was getting walked down the aisle, and Brendan was like staring at her, like saying, "Say cream, yes, cream."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't
it's
say
really
that.
good.
Didn't say it today.
Nope.
So.
Should have known. Should have known the marriage was doomed from the start.
And that's why you're getting annulled.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that dowry fee is enough to bankrupt you, Brendan.
Yeah, it's a couple $100.
Which is what, like $1.50?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not much, but it's enough to bring down this whole crematorium empire.
Yeah, every episode we make $1.50. That's how it goes.
Yeah. So, Nicole, welcome to the Six Timers Club.
Hey, thanks.
Welcome. Thanks for filling in. How much Gossip Girl have you watched since the last time you were on the pod 15 weeks ago?
I think I'm pretty much caught up. I think I missed one episode.
You might have missed a
And then
couple,
I watched-
not super important ones, and I just kind of brief you on it.
I think that I only missed like an episode or two, and I watched them while you were recording because I was at my hair appointment or something like that.
Some, you could listen to this show if you don't feel like watching the episode. Or you could have me say, like, you're like, oh, what happened last episode that I missed? I'm like, I don't really know. Just keep watching. That's the other version.
He's like, never seen it.
At some point, we'll get a long line of exposition from one of the characters.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been pretty caught up. There was only like the fall off during season 2 where I was like, I hate the show. I don't want to do this anymore.
That time
And
you skipped,
I'm
like, a whole
back,
season.
baby. Yeah,
She's back to hating.
I'm back, and I'm back hating it too.
You and me both. So, any recent changes in favorite and least favorite characters, or do you still love who you love and hate who you hate?
Yeah, there's definitely been some changes. Like I don't scream at the television every time Georgina's on the screen anymore.
Oh, and she's
So-
been
She's
on
on
the
the screen
last
now,
couple
yeah.
of weeks.
Yeah, she's been kind of
Regina
like
on the screen.
making me laugh the most in these most recent episodes. So
Can you
I've
give us
been
a little,
enjoying that.
example?
like how my like ha like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And Georgina's making you do the wow.
Yeah.
I praise.
Nervous.
I've never been told to perform a laugh before.
Well, you usually look nervous when I try to make you laugh.
Yeah, it's true.
Either you laugh or you get the womp stick, honey.
Okay.
So you're now a full-fledged Georgina fan. That's pretty exciting.
I enjoy her a lot.
What do you think about her as Gossip Girl?
I'm enjoying that as well.
Well, it's over.
Okay.
Not for long. Georgina Harrow, R.I.P. 2012 to 2012, the Georgina Sparks Gossip Girl. And the Philip era, even briefer.
Oh, is he on the oil rig?
No, but he's not Gossip Girl anymore.
Okay. As far as Gossip Girl, I forgot he did perform that duty today. Yeah.
In this episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we get into the episode?
Sure.
I think we should.
The title of this episode is The Princess Dowry. Brendan, do you have any idea what this could be referencing?
This is The Princess Diary.
And then it's referencing the 2001 film
Uh-oh.
The Princess Diaries. You did singularize it.
I know. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's called Diaries, but they didn't pluralize it, so I'm going to leave it.
There's only one dowry in the episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen, and the fans can go up in arms if they want, and we may reverse the decision. But I am electing to count that as you getting it
because I know the movie. I've seen it many times. I used to watch it. You know, back in middle school when they would do the lunchtime movies and they would show you parts of each movie. I used to watch. I would watch it there.
I did used to play that in lunchtime.
Yeah,
I remember.
It's a good movie.
If Brennan was going to make that movie as a remake, he would call it The Princess Diarrheas.
I'm a princess.
Wow, very highbrow already.
She started
it. So, then you've now gotten 4 in a row. 5 of your last 6.
Wow.
You're now over 500. You are 9 for 17.
Something tells me he's cheating.
Yeah, probably.
Watch it.
Singularizing movies and just hoping that we'll let it slide.
He's like, ooh, The Princess Diary? I can't be totally right on this one.
Yeah.
Not cheating.
They'll know something's fishy.
Hey, you're the 6-timer on this show. You're the one cheating.
Huh?
Well, you were a 2-timer, then a 3-timer.
Oh,
Yeah. We'll tell you when you're older.
Goodness gracious.
Well, let's get into it here. We start with Lily. She's making sure all of her mother's funeral arrangements are perfect. The funeral man, she isn't. She's a funeral angel. I don't know what you call the funeral man that she's talking to or meeting with, but he tells Lily that her mother has already provided them with very detailed instructions, and he goes, in fact, if you return home right now, I think you'll discover the wake is already underway. Why didn't he lead with that? Like, how is that?
And they're not like, oh shit, we gotta get home. They're like, oh, of course it's already out.
Oh, mother.
What is the paper that he's reading says, like, the wake is taking place right now at this very moment, or like the time.
Have them come in for this meeting like after it's already started, and then give them the grand reveal mid-meeting.
And it's the wake is taking place in her home. Like, how does she not notice people setting up? Like, what? I don't understand how this happened.
And for Rufus to get home and be like, it was already here when I got here. It's like, what?
He probably thought that Rufus was setting up like his yearly St. Patrick's Day party or something. She's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
He's making corned beef instead of chili. Finally, something new on the menu, at least.
He tells Lily that, they probably just didn't want to bother you with all the arrangements. But Carol walks in. She's like, or she just didn't trust your taste level, which, shots fired. No one knows taste like Lily. I don't know what Carol's talking about.
I hate Carol.
Hey, get the fuck out of here, Carol.
Oh, everyone hates Carol.
Oh, God.
I hope she becomes a funeral angel soon.
Oh, what?
Funeral angel.
Funeral angel.
Means I hope she dies.
Hope she dies. Not to mention, the original air date of this episode, February 27th, 2012. So we are still in line releasing these episodes a week, the same week, 12 years later.
Wow.
And I think the St. Patrick's Day type stuff does land well. I was in the grocery store today and I saw a bunch of... I guess I'll say the pluralization version, the Ginai out on the grocery store floor.
Ginai?
Ginai. Yeah.
And you went to the cashier and said, "Can I have the Ginai?" And they knew what you were talking about.
They didn't actually.
They were like, are you part of the 100 Ginai Club?
Not yet. One Ginai down. 99 to go. And this is for all the locals that drink at Belfast Pub in Lindenhurst. One of the 12 pubs of Christmas.
Now, do you prefer Belfast, the pub in Lindenhurst, or Belfast, the Kenneth Branagh movie that came out a couple of years ago?
The latter.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I like the movie. I like the movie better than.
I haven't seen it, but I heard it's very good.
Oh, really? I saw it twice.
Yeah, you liked it a lot. Yeah,
I liked it a lot. I liked it a good deal.
I was invited. Didn't show
And
up.
what happened?
I was at Belfast Pub.
A little inconsistent here, but all right. So Carol introduces herself as the other daughter and lets her know that Cece has already taken care of everything in advance, or Lily lets her know that. And then she says, I tell you to invite your daughter, the real one, not the fake one, but she's not speaking to you.
I tell your daughter, like, wait, do you want me to invite the real one or the fake one?
Yeah, definitely the most natural way to say that sentence.
It's supposed to be like a sick burn. It's really not.
And the guy, like, in the meeting was just like, what? Like, he doesn't care. He's like, I don't care about any of this. Get out of my office.
Yeah.
You guys, please get out of here. You have an Irish wake going on in here.
Which honestly, we'll get there in a minute, but it looks pretty fun. Very jolly.
Yeah. So Lola and Nate are having a morning makeout session. I guess Lola has finally given in to Nate and his persistent advances. I guess she figures if she's going to be staying with him, then might as well.
I guess it looks like she's doing it as a part of a scheme, just because she was so against dating him at all. Now she's all in. Like, but she's not a schemer.
Lola's not a schemer.
I
She's
know,
the anti-schemer. She hates the Upper East Side.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
You guys both think that Lola's a schemer now. Unbelievable.
I don't know. I don't know enough about her.
Good people on the Upper
I mean,
East Side?
introduced to us in Gossip Girl over the years, it just feels like, well, someone's got something up their sleeve. Every person you meet, there's no normal people here.
It's true. And the new person is the one that's scheming the most of all of them. I can't talk. I don't know.
You've got this. You've got
Take it
this.
from here. You can take it from here. So, we've also now entered the Chase Crawford fat lip era. That's a fat lip reference.
Wait, what happened to his fat lip?
Well, see, I don't know. Well, I didn't know what happened to Chase during this time period, but he will have a fat lip for a few episodes.
I don't think I
And
realized
luckily, IMDb, they call it out in the show. It's so bad. Well, let me just say, IMDb trivia told us that Chase Crawford has a swollen lip in this episode because co-star Leighton Meester accidentally hit him whilst play fighting on set. So,
Oh.
Interesting.
but yeah, it's so bad that they have to call it out
from like season 3 or 4.
It must be. Well, I remember. No, they were recreating the field hockey scene with Blair and Serena. Yeah.
I'm glad they're
I remember when I was
field
watching
hockey in this show.
Yes, when I was watching the show with my mom, she would always call out the fat lip. She was like, "What's going on with this? Why is it so?" And I was like, "Mom, calm down."
How did I not realize that?
Neither of us realized fat lip.
Well, they also call it out in the canon of the show. Lola mentions his horrible disfigurement as the reason he's not going into work, and Nate says, "I thought you found my lacrosse injury sexy."
Oh, I had no idea what they were talking about.
Yeah,
It's his fat lip.
How did I?
I thought he had like something wrong with his erection.
Spectator with Nate's version.
Do you remember our Daniel Street?
I want to spectator with a girl named Lola.
Do you remember our Daniel Street like graduation party at Fireman's Park where we had like the DJ and everything like that? We were just able to run rampant around the park.
Yeah, the picnic.
Yeah, I requested fat lip to the DJ that day, and I think he denied me because of the part where they scream abortion like 10 times.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was happening. Like, why not? It's a fun new song.
The doctor said my mom should have had an abortion. Yeah, it is a couple times.
Yeah, it's quite a few.
The way I repeat it and everything.
Yeah.
Chocolate, where she should have had an abortion. Then she just gets into a car crash and stuff.
Oh God. It's the whole thing.
Because Trip let the brake fluid out in the car.
Yep.
Wow.
They I guess just remind us that Nate plays lacrosse. Like, I don't know when he had time to play lacrosse to get this
Well,
injury.
that's why I said it was an old injury, because he hasn't played in God knows how long.
Why would he be bringing up an old injury? Do you pay attention to the dialogue when you watch?
I paid attention fine. I just didn't see the fat lip. I thought they were talking about something that I didn't need to know about.
I too thought that we didn't even have this conversation. I thought they were talking about some old injury of some sort as well, because it was just not. It wasn't even said, was it?
Next episode when it was said.
She said your fat lip?
She said, she's like, how come you're not going into work? Is it because of your horrible disfigurement? And he said, I thought my
again. We saw no disfigurement, so we're like, I guess there's something underneath the sheets.
That's what I thought too. I was like, maybe under his like shirt or something. I don't know.
You guys are crazy.
Listen,
Sound off if you thought Nate had a broken penis or if he had a fat lip.
A broken penis? I said under his shirt, but okay.
Well, that's how big it is when he tucks it under the waistband.
Okay.
It goes up to his belly button.
All right. Well, so Lola doesn't seem like she wants to talk about her feelings or anything that's happened in the last 72 hours, where she's found out she has an entire secret family and her mom hired an actress she knows to play her. There's some of that convenient exposition in case anyone has missed the last episode or so. She doesn't want to talk about it. She didn't know about the Vanderwoodsons, but they certainly knew about her and didn't do anything about it. So that should tell Nate all he needs to know about his fancy friend. So
also,
I guess that
they
explains...
didn't know about her. They knew about...
They did. They knew about Cousin Charlie. Yeah,
I guess, but like, then once she was brought into their lives, they're like, "Oh, you're great," but it was just a different person.
Well, yeah. I guess this is supposed to explain her hostility from last episode, where she's like, "I don't want to get coffee with you," but like you're saying, I'm sure they were trying to invite her to events and stuff, and Carol was just like shutting them down. Like, she should focus all of her anger on her mom.
Yeah, once they introduce the person that they think is Charlie, they're like, "Oh, finally, we get to hang out with you more."
Because I remember saying to Brendan, with Ivy, like, being her, I was like, how do they not know that that's not her?
Well, they haven't seen her since she was little.
I guess. It's wild.
It was very wild. You have to suspend a lot of disbelief here. Mm-hmm. And then she turns to Nate and says, buy a girl some breakfast, which is a weird way to ask. I would have immediately said no. I was like, why would you phrase it that way? That's I don't like that.
Sorry. Lost my wallet.
So Serena's calling Nate, so he tells Lola, maybe in 2 minutes, and he picks up, and he asks Serena how she's holding up, and she says the past 2 days have been tough on everyone. She asked Nate if he's with Lola because she hasn't answered any of her calls or texts, and Nate's like, Lola's not really interested in being a Rhodes, but Serena claims to know what it's like to want distance from their family more than anyone, but she thought that with Cece's death, she'd make an exception, which, A, Serena has no idea how Lola feels, so stop trying to relate to her. And B, Lola didn't even know Cece, so what does she care?
Yeah, it's not really her grandma. At the end, sure, technically it is, but she has no idea who this lady is. She actually never met her alive, I don't think.
No.
I'll have to go back and check the home videos, but I can't.
I was trying to remember if she saw her on the hospital bed before she passed away or not.
Oh, I don't think so. So Nate doesn't think it's a good idea because he knows how overwhelming the Vanderwoodson clan can be. So Serena suggests, maybe she can just dip her toe in the water with just me, and you can come too. And Nate's like, all right, I'll ask her, but I can't promise anything. And then he hangs up the phone, and all of a sudden, Chuck is just in the kitchen and in a weirdly good mood.
Coffee, top shelf.
He's in such a good mood. He found out who actually sent in the video of Chuck and Blair, and he says it was that Humphrey, which I guess good mood Chuck isn't as good at the wordplay.
That Humphrey. Did he just stumble? Did you just stumble on what you were?
Humphrey. And then Nate responds to that by going, Dan? Yes, Nate. The Humphrey is Dan. I don't know who else.
No, Rufus.
Well, I thought maybe it was Dan's cousin. It's cousin Hump. I
don't know. When did Humphrey get into town? I don't know.
Honestly, though, Nate is really that dumb.
So, Chuck says that Dan was happy to let Chuck take the fall so he could worm his way into Blair's broken heart, which seems gross when you put it that way, but that is exactly what Dan did.
Yeah.
I mean, he admits it later on. He's like, yeah, Chuck's right.
Yeah. And then Blair's like, I forgive you. Oh, okay. All right.
I'm with her.
I guess. Sure.
Yeah.
So Chuck thinks that when Blair finds out the truth, Dan's chances with her will be destroyed, and she will be mine again. Which, all right, Chuck had me until he started saying that Blair will be mine. I don't know why they're so weirdly possessive over this girl.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Yeah, and so Nate asks Chuck if he's sure he wants to start World War Waldorf right now, because nothing can actually happen between Blair and Dan for at least another year, and a lot can happen in 12 months. Which, he's right, but someone should probably still tell Blair what Dan did. Luckily, Gossip Girl will take it under his wing.
Yeah. Still also bad wordplay again with the World War Waldorf. It's
World
grasping at
War
straws.
Waldorf. Not like that's nothing. It doesn't.
Yeah, not good.
World War. I guess it's the alliteration. That's
It's like
what it
difficult to
is.
say World War Waldorf. It's like
Sell,
it's good.
sell, sell,
They probably had to
say. I can't even say.
They probably
say that. Say that 6 times fast.
They probably had to do a couple takes on that too.
Yeah.
Especially
Whoa, Waldorf. Waldorf.
World War.
World War
Hump.
Waldorf.
World War.
World Tom Humphrey.
Humphrey fell off a wall.
That was the spinoff show. It was called Humphrey and World War Waldorf. Speaking of that Humphrey, he wants to kidnap Blair and take her to a Humphrey brunch. And you know what? On second thought, maybe Chuck doesn't need to sabotage Dan because he seems to be doing a pretty good job of that, offering her some Rufus waffles. But Blair is busy on the phone speaking French, and Dan asked what that was all about. And it was Cyrus and another attorney, and they think they may have found a loophole in her prenup. And right away, I was like, about time.
You've
I've
been
been saying
calling
this
for
whole
this,
time that
yeah.
you literally have a lawyer as a stepdad. Surely he can figure something out. And what do you know? As soon as he looks at it, he figures something out. Like, she should have had him look at it before she signed her life away, but better late than never, I guess.
My question is, why was she speaking to her stepdad in French?
I think I think he was. She said it was her stepdad. It was Cyrus and another lawyer, so I'm guessing the other lawyer was like.
Because he lives in France, right?
Yeah.
Cyrus? Oh, no, Cyrus doesn't live. Her dad lives in France.
Dad lives in France, but, Cyrus and Eleanor are always vacationing somewhere. I don't know. Who knows? But, yeah, I don't know. I guess
Maybe Cyrus just thinks that where he is physically at the moment, he has to speak that language.
Oui, oui.
I was going to say, I'd like to hear him speak French.
So, apparently, since Blair signed the prenup in Monaco, but got married in the U.S., she can contest it. And Cyrus thinks the Grimaldis may have to grant her an amicable annulment, meaning that they would have to waive the dowry, and she would not have to wait a year for anything. Cyrus is supposed to talk to the Grimaldis' royal lawyer, or whatever he's called, within the hour. So, Blair's going to skip the Rufus waffles and wait here. What was that? I'm sorry?
Royal loyal. It's I couldn't think of the rest of the song.
That was really good.
You got it.
Yeah, that was really good. So,
I was really listening to you because I was trying to figure out the rest of the Royal Oil parody. But I'm sure it was great, whatever you're talking about.
No, yeah, it was really good. Let's just move on. Because Nicole's favorite character, Georgina, is back.
Yeah.
And so is Philip. Only one episode off for Georgina, and I was already so relieved that she was back on my screen. Like, last episode didn't need her, but I'm sure it could have only made it better.
Yeah. I just love, there's something about her now that I'm just like, yep, I'm with her. I think I hate everybody else, so I'm like, yeah.
That's gotta be what it is. Yeah. And she's just like taking them down for no reason.
Yeah, I love it.
It's a good crutch to have as a writing team. Just be like, nothing's really going on with these other characters. Let's have Georgina bring absolutely everything together.
Yeah.
Break glass and apparently Georgina's like a superhero too, where she just appears in places and hears all the information she needs to hear and then just spreads it. Like,
yeah. And I didn't love everything in this episode, but her being there and kind of connecting every plot line was like fun in a way where sometimes there's certain things that are too separate from the main plot line where it's like, this doesn't need to exist at all. But everything did have a sort of a wiggly through line.
It's just crazy that Georgina is able to overhear all of it.
Yeah. She's always in the right place at the right time, that girl.
Yeah, literally always. So Georgina's getting sick of being Gossip Girl, though, even though Philip points out that knowing everyone's secret is her dream come true. But that was only until she realized how much work it was. She's exhausted, she's aggravated, she has no social life, she feels like a stay-at-home mom, and Philip asks what he can do, and Georgina's like, I'm taking a mental health day. I have found the perfect event to crash, CC Rhodes' secret wake. Like, yes, when I think mental health day, I'm like, there's a party I gotta get to. A wake.
Although she'd complain about how much work this is, and then she goes and does way more work than just copy and pasting things to the internet.
Yes.
She didn't really want a day off.
She wants the fun stuff.
She wants to be involved in everything in that.
So she's leaving Philip in charge of Gossip Girl, and she explains to him how it works. She's like, you just take the tips that people send, you post them if they're worthy. Unfortunately, we didn't get to hear any like witty Philip Gossip Girl banter that like any of that narration. I would have loved to hear what that idiot could have come up with, but unfortunately he was just copy and pasting. to Philip's credit, he's already second guessing the idea as soon as she says it. But she's like, "Listen, what's a Vanderwoodson family event if I'm not there to ruin it?" Which is an excellent question. Georgina knows her role and she plays it well.
Yeah,
she's
she
like,
does.
"I got shit the fuck up right now." Yeah,
and it's great to understand her motivation is just like, I just like to fuck shit up. There's no like bending over backwards to figure out what she's trying to do and why she's trying to do it. We always know exactly.
Every time you're like, "What's her motivation?" It's just like, nah, she doesn't need.
She's crazy.
She's just crazy. So, she also Jesus. She also promised.
Is that a Mountain Dew getting to you? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's what it is. She also promised someone that she'd be their +1 to a wake. I didn't even know you got +1s to wakes, but
I think it's kind of usually the ones I've been to. You can just kind of go in.
Yeah, you just
ID.
go in. Yeah. But Ivy Dickens herself appears in the doorway and thanks Georgina for coming with her. So I guess that's why she pulled out that year-old napkin to call Georgina.
Not a good payoff at all.
No. She says that even though she was invited, she doesn't think she can face them alone. That I follow. The part where I was like, so what is inviting Georgina like gonna do?
They don't work together at all.
Yeah, Georgina's like, when everyone at a party hates you, who better to bring than someone everyone hates even more?
Which I get.
It seems like it kind of. Yeah, I mean the logic makes sense. Seems like kind of just a way to get Georgina at the wake, anyway. I guess. But, yeah, right.
They're like, oh, they'll exhaust all their energy on me instead of you, Ivy.
Which can just inherit everything.
Yeah.
Would have been funny if Georgina just inherited everything somehow. She's just like, I love Georgina.
That would have been a plot twist.
That's way better.
I mean, it's very random who Cece kept in close contact with. Apparently, she's such great friends with William Vanderwoodson that he's the executor of her. Yeah. He's like, you know me and Cece, we're close. Like, we did?
I was waiting for that to be, like, a scheme also. Like, how did he sneak his way in here?
Yeah.
But no, I guess she really just genuinely liked Billy Baldwin.
When he came in with the will, I said to Brendan, what does being a doctor have to do with this?
I guess because his name is technically
Will.
The actor.
Right.
So.
Well, his name is William in the show.
Oh, that's true, too.
Yeah.
They were like, do we have any wills? Do we have any wills?
Yeah, maybe it was a misunderstanding. Like, she was just talking about her will, and they thought, oh, you want Will Vanderwoodson here. Okay. So, Serena's waiting in her lobby. Chuck comes in, and Serena explains that she's down here to warn her mom that there's a lot going on upstairs. And she asks if Chuck's here to get intel on Blair and Dan and torture Dan a little. And Chuck tells her, yeah, maybe a little. But Dan is not here yet, so Serena does have some intel for him, though. Blair just texted her that Cyrus may have found a loophole in her prenup, so she may be released sooner than any of us thought. What a dumb roadblock this ended up being. Like, I guess it's still not technically resolved. Yeah. I guess the roadblock still isn't technically resolved, but to be like, oh, this prenup for a year, and then just to be like, oh, and by the way, not anymore.
It only applies to Chuck too, even while it is being enforced.
Right. It only applies to Chuck. She can still fool around with Dan during.
But it's the Chuck year. You can't.
None of it makes sense. And so Chuck hears this and realizes that Blair is going to go right into Dan's waiting arms, so he has to excuse himself. He has to reassess. And he starts emailing Gossip Girl with the subject, Dan Humphrey. And with Philip at the helm, what could go wrong?
Philip is a great boyfriend on this show.
He's a great man.
Great man. It's just so funny how we've seen so many like main characters have boyfriends, and they're just absolutely nothing. And then this side character that comes on once a season usually has like one of the better boyfriends in the series.
Yeah.
He's the perfect himbo.
Yeah, he's great.
Perfect for Georgina, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Lola and Nate are discussing what they want to do for breakfast. Nate's like, hey, since we'll be on, Madison's anyway, that we'll be right near Serena's mom's house, which Serena will be at by herself. And Lola's like, I don't want anything to do with the Vanderwoodsons. But Nate tries to tell her that not everything on the Upper East Side is automatically bad. And I don't think that's what Lola has been saying. She's just saying that the Vanderwoodsons are bad, which I think her point is going to be proven correct. But so she challenges Nate to name one thing on the Upper East Side that isn't bad. And he immediately says, me. Nailed it.
I don't know. She didn't see that one coming.
He's like, me, hello, and Serena's my best friend.
Serena's my friend, and you haven't given her a chance. So what's the harm? Like, yes, very dangerous question. Whenever you say what's the harm, there is some harm immediately following right afterwards. So Lola tells Nate that if they stop, he needs to promise that he'll never play her like this again. And he promises, and so I guess Nate gets his way again.
The question for this whole part where Serena's like, yeah, it's only me. Like the timeline doesn't make sense, like you were saying before, because then it like immediately cuts to her and her mother walking into the wake, like
she lied
in their house. So she knew people were at her house. Okay.
She says to Lily, she's like, "Sorry, I lied about me being by myself to get you here, but now I can show you that we're all great."
And it works like a charm.
I lied to her, like you just lied to her again. Like,
now she's really gonna trust you.
Hate her.
So, yeah, Serena's trying to talk Lily off the ledge. They enter the penthouse. There's a Weird Al style polka band of some sort playing in the middle of their living room. Weird Al should have been here himself. I think.
That would have been great.
The rare cameo I would have understood and recognized.
The one of the entire series so far.
you know Cece's old friend Albert Yankovic. Ah, yes, me and Cece were so close back in our polka days. Lily can't believe it. She says, "Dear God." I was also shocked. I was not expecting this. There's whiskey and stew and mourner's chairs where you sit and mourn because this is an Irish wake, and the polka band really getting into it.
Did we know that Cece was
Irish?
just Irish in general, but I guess like also into her.
That was my question.
Her culture.
This comes out of absolute nowhere.
It's part of the fun because like it also. I love another instance of me loving the camera angles of like Lily being surprised and they like fast zoom in, fast zoom out, and then they fast zoom in on all the instruments.
Yeah, it's like zoomed in on all the hands, like the hands of the clarinet or the flute or something.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's supposed to be scary.
The horror, yeah. Just once to flag this up, we should have had Cece say something like, "Oh, back in my days at Ireland, I used to love."
On her deathbed, she had an accent.
I used to love the Guinea.
the Guinea.
Yes, that's how we say it plurally, dear. Okay.
That's how we say it plurally, Ivy. I mean Charlie, my granddaughter.
But she knows who she is. Apparently.
She does. Yes, she does. So, by the way, I've taken the liberty of hiring the same band for your wake, Brendan, whenever it may be.
We know they will outlive me for sure.
Yeah, for sure. They have a standing invitation to perform at your wake.
That's good to me, honestly.
Philip is hard at work. He takes Chuck's email and he's like seemingly teaching himself how to copy and paste. Like this is a foreign concept to him. But,
I like that he's out loud, like copy and paste. I will say, as soon as he highlighted the whole thing, I was like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah, that's not gonna be good. And it says, "GG, it's time you told everyone Dan Humphrey sent in that video on Blair's wedding day. Hopefully by publishing this story, all those who are wrongfully accused will be exonerated. Thanks, C." And even the email address, chuckbass@day9mail.com, whatever email address that is.
We should try emailing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, he posts the entire thing just like that, and everyone immediately starts commenting, like, "Oh my God, Chuck sent this in." And with each comment, Philip looks more and more pained. Like this is why you can't just leave anyone in charge of Gossip Girl, especially not the one person we found who's dumber than Nate. Like not the best option.
Yeah. It worked out. Maybe she knows how dumb he is, and it was sort of a part of her plan.
Could be.
There's a point where I'm like, was this all part of Georgina's plan? Because they used this to their advantage later in the episode.
Right,
Yeah.
what was she? This happens early on in her plan too. So, like, what would she have done if not for him doing this?
No, she would have found something.
Yeah,
like she's.
I mean, honestly, like most of the scheme is kind of on her toes.
And she also, when she like sees that he does it, she's like, "Well, good thing I was
hadn't expected that.
Good thing I was bored of being Gossip Girl anyway, so I might as well go out with a bang."
Yeah, she might have had like two pathways ready. Just like, if he doesn't fuck up, I'll go this way. If not, I'll go this way.
Yeah.
He has a whole flow chart ready.
Yeah.
What might happen? Where to go?
She's a monster.
Back to the Irish wake. Lily can't believe this was her mother's idea. She also doesn't recognize anyone who's here. And Rufus is like, she probably just wanted everyone to celebrate her life, so she didn't invite any stodgy socialites. And Lily's like, she only invited the help, her butcher and her driver and the fireman that saved her life. It's very funny. I don't know, like, what the fuck happened to Cece? Like, this doesn't seem like something Cece would do. Is this a practical joke?
Yeah, it seems like someone else died.
Yeah, like I don't. It was never like Cece was historically like, "I hate what we stand for as a family. I'm gonna give back to the little people." Like that's not.
No,
Cece.
yeah, she was the matriarch of all this. So,
yeah, and who knows? Also, the other person she invited is Ivy, who is here. She goes right to the family and says hi, and Lily responds, "You? What are you doing here?" And Ivy explains she was invited by Cece herself, and she promised she'd come. So she's just here to pay her respects, and she won't bother anyone. Lily's pissed. This is all Carol's fault. But Rufus calms her down, says everything will be explained once the executor reads the will. Which, yes, because that always goes so smoothly and helps matters on teen dramas. Whenever we read the will, everything just gets figured out.
Yeah.
Everything goes so fast.
Yeah, cut to the scene where the whole family's in there and like, all right, well, I think that about settles it, guys, right?
Oh, good, okay.
All right.
Seeing you? All right, we'll see. Same time next death? Okay.
Oh, my God.
And Lily gets the accordion, and then all hell breaks loose. That's the one thing Carol's pissed about.
I want that accordion!
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nate and Lola arrive to the Irish wake. Nate swears he had no idea what they were walking into, and Lola calls it an epic fail, which really dating the episode. I feel like it's a very 2012 thing to say.
Yeah.
This is an epic fail.
And like, why is it what about it is an epic fail?
They just throw that lingo.
They were like, let's just put that in there. This will hit with the youngins.
Very hip of Lola to say that. So. Carol catches them, wants to have a word with her real daughter, and Nate lets them talk. Carol asks what Lola's doing here, and Lola tells her, "This morning while I was in the shower at Nate's, Serena, the cousin who I just found out about, tricked me into coming to the wake of the grandmother I never knew existed, at the house of the family that you hid from me my entire life." Does that sum it up for you enough? Even before she asked that, I was gonna ask. I was like, that summed it up pretty well.
Yeah. Thanks for helping me with my notes.
Really summed it up. Yeah, thank you. Perfect. So, Carol again claims that she only lied because they're not safe around these people. They're materialistic monsters, says the woman who looted her own daughter's trust fund.
I don't know.
She really doesn't have any.
She has nothing to stand
here.
Well, we were the same wavelength.
Hey.
But she keeps like preaching this. I'm like, everyone sees right through you. No, you're not fooling a single person here. I don't know.
Who, Carol?
Yeah.
They're monsters. I needed to steal your money so I could go on vacation and get rid of these and escape these monsters.
Just stop saying it because no one believes you. If you just own up to it, then maybe people will like you more.
No.
Maybe.
No one will like her.
Liking Carol.
Especially with
Kristen
that
Ritter version of Carol in the flashbacks. I could imagine people liking.
Yeah.
What went wrong? She was so
much.
I know Billy Baldwin likes Carol, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, he also never likes that version we were talking about, the old version.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. So, so Lola tells Carol that the only person here who's ever lied to her is Carol, and Serena comes over and is like, "Oh, I'm so glad you came." But first, Georgina's on the phone with Philip. Apparently, I guess no one's noticed that Georgina is here yet. She's just kind of walking around, being undetected, uncommented on.
She looks like the rest of the help.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So Georgina's like, "Oh, who knows if anyone will ever send in another tip to me?" And so this, at least right now, does not seem like it was part of the plan. But she's like, "Oh, luckily for you, Philip, I'm in the eye of the hurricane, so I can watch this mess play out. And if this is my last day, I'm going out with a bang." And so she approaches Dan, and she's like, I like Dan says, "I'd ask what you were doing here if I cared, which I don't."
Ooh, burn.
Sounds like a person who doesn't care.
Georgina's wondering if he checked Gossip Girl lately. She's like, "Yeah, I said I'd never reveal your secret, but unfortunately I left Philip in charge. So lessons learned. Okay, bye." Perfect comedic delivery as always.
Yeah.
Georgina here.
Yeah. It always helps like a situation you just be more confident in it when you don't give a shit about it. Now that she's like, I don't care about Gossip Girl anymore, so I can go balls to the wall here.
Yep.
Whatever happens. I'm fine with being on my last step here.
Just letting you know that I fucked you over. So.
Yeah.
And also sees that Chuck was the one that sent it in. And speaking of Chuck, Blair has obviously also seen this Gossip Girl blast, and she's here to confront him. She tells Chuck of his many attempts at sabotage, this is by far the most pathetic. And she accuses him of spreading baseless lies at the wake of her best friend's grandmother. So not only did Philip reveal that Chuck sent in the tip, but at least now Blair doesn't even seem to believe that she thinks that Chuck's lying. So the worst of both worlds from Chuck. But Chuck tells her, "Well, you may be correct about my motives. The blast is anything but a lie." I was wondering if Chuck knew that Gossip Girl completely fucked him over, and I guess he does, but he's really playing it cool. Like, he does not care that it was revealed that he was the one that sent the tip in.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess he figures the situation will now work in his favor. She also has now a year in his eyes to cool off.
Yeah.
Before he can come after her again. So it's all he can do.
He's like, I can win her back.
I guess, yeah. Blair should have figured it out that it was Dan, because as Chuck points out, he's like, "Yeah, we already ruled out me and Serena. It certainly wasn't Louie, so
he
who's
kind of spells
left?"
it out to her, yeah.
Yeah. And so Chuck tells Blair to ask Dan the truth, and she looks over at Dan at the bar, and he does look very guilty. So he gets
he starts sprinting away.
Yeah, he gets up so quickly that he leaves his phone, and Georgina, always ready to capitalize. Good. She goes right over and swipes it.
No shame.
No.
Information on here that we're in the age of no passwords on phones.
That's
exactly.
True.
No passwords on phones, no passwords on laptops. You can just get in anywhere.
Anywhere.
So Dan tells Blair to wait, but Blair has nothing to say to Dan. Dan apologizes for lying, but Blair says, "You didn't just lie. You let me blame my best friend and my ex for something they didn't do, and embarrass me in front of 400 people at my own wedding, and also made me a target of tabloids and TSA agents." Which, yeah, Dan's pretty shitty. Like he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, well, he's like, but I liked you a lot. So what do you think now?
Well, but please.
I never meant to hurt you.
So. Yeah, but can the hump or what?
Can the hump?
He says he never meant to hurt her, but like, what did he think was gonna happen?
Yeah, what he should have said is like, I knew it would hurt you, but it was for my own selfish gain.
I didn't mean to hurt you. I just meant to ruin your wedding. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, that way you could have come crawling to me.
See, but like, I see it from the different perspective of like him and Serena both were trying to stop Blair from making a decision that she didn't want to make. So like,
she does say later too.
I don't really fully believe that he was like, yeah, probably for his own personal gain, but I also felt like he did it because he knew that she cared about Chuck. And so like, she was like, instead of getting married to like this person you don't want to be with.
And then like, also I might have a chance as well, but at the moment, I think it was definitely like a little bit of a selfish move, but yeah, I think he was looking out for her emotionally.
Well, yeah, Dan does say that, every day he had to hear her complain that she had to marry Louis even though she didn't love him. He couldn't stand seeing her so unhappy, so he only thought it would stop the wedding. He didn't expect her to leave the wedding with him.
Right.
And so Blair is like, oh, us fighting, that's exactly what Bassface wanted. So she does forgive Dan, at least for now. And just like that, she magically forgives him. A lot of setup for very little payoff, at least right now, that Blair and Dan don't even really fight about this. Also, Essie's here, and she knows everything about Cyrus trying to trick the royal advisor into voiding the prenup, even though I don't think that's what happened. Like, he found
an actual loophole. Like, he's not a schemer.
And she's not a lawyer, so I was like, how does she know better than Cyrus does?
I don't know.
But it's because she was listening to Georgina.
Had she even talked to Georgina at that point?
I think so.
I guess so, because this whole thing was like her bluff.
Right.
I thought. It gets really hairy over here. Yeah.
It really does. This is when Chuck comes over and grabs Dan's shoulder, like they're old buddies, and he's like, "Looks like Blair's annulment just got annulled. Shame, you were so close too." Chuck is not good boy Chuck anymore, but can't help love that he's back to getting digs in at Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a good balance of good and bad Chuck, because he's not being like shitty to everyone just because he hates his life. He's always evil energy is directed at one person with a very simple motive. Right. That's good.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. So Esty is going to assure Blair here that Cyrus's plan will never work, and Blair lets Esty know that Cyrus doesn't respond well to threats because he fought in Nam, and but she didn't let Esty finish. His plan might not work, but mine can. Wow, what a twist!
I like Cyrus and Nam going, "You're torturing me. Not enough.
Not enough." I wish we could have gotten a flashback. So Esty wants to help Blair. Blair doesn't want Louis, but Esty does. They grew up together, but she was never a suitable choice for her serene highness, at least until Blair came along. Like, Blair is such a PR disaster that Esty looks amazing by comparison. And remember, Esty does have a habit of covering Blair in photos of her and Louis. That's how we know she's in love with him.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
This is, normal people do.
Yeah.
So... And Esty's like, yeah, Louis would welcome me as a lovely Blair replacement. We'll be very happy. And oddly enough, Blair just wants Louis to be happy for some reason, even though he's the worst. So she's like, all right, it's worth a shot. Let's do it.
We don't even know if Louis has ever really been into this girl Esty
before.
No,
we're not Blair, so
that's what I was going to say.
Anything is better than Blair.
I do like when Blair goes, "You slimy limey." That got me really good. I was like, what the hell?
It's a very cute living.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no reason why Cyrus's plan won't work still because the loophole's still there, but whatever. I guess it's nice to have options. So
In
she
my
tells
head,
Essie to make the
it
call.
will work, but Georgina tricks everyone into thinking that it won't
Right.
anymore. However,
Right,
she
so
does
Georgina's, yeah, we'll go with that.
She infiltrates, as usual.
As she does best. So Serena and Lola now. Serena apologizes to Lola for tricking her into coming by and assures her that Nate had no idea. And like she's saying this with her charming Serena smile, but Lola should be pissed that more family members are just lying to her.
I love that Serena's like, sorry that I tricked you to come here. Let me give you a tour of the whole house. Like, what is that going to do?
Let
Like,
me show you how rich we are.
yeah, she's like, I don't care about Upper East Side. I don't care about you guys. I don't care about material items. And she's like, I know. I'm sorry I tricked you. Come here. I'll show you all the things we have.
Yeah, all
Like,
the
that's
great
going to
things
win
that
me
you know.
over.
I know you don't like coffee,
So-
but do you like penthouses?
She's so like out of touch, and she's like, I know what your mom thinks of us, that all we care about is money, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Family is what's most important to us. It was so touching.
So
And-
Speaks like a president. Like the pausing. Family
Prepared
is what.
And to prove that, she brings Lola over to Lily and Rufus, who are currently fighting about money and fancy things. And
Check the silver.
literally, like she's ordering someone to count the silver right away as she scurries off like a cartoon character, like
funny.
clearly proving Serena's point. We have to count the silver.
But I know that is the point, is to show like how shallow they are. But in Lily's defense, gotta come from my girl Lily. She mostly just wants to keep the stuff that Carol wants out of her hands, because she always claims to be this down to earth person that doesn't care about any of this shit and is still like fighting to get some of it. So I would be annoyed as Lily too. Just like stay.
The
Pause
point is
off the
they're
shit.
all fighting over it. They're all
Yeah.
materialistic
Yeah.
Yeah.
monsters.
At least Lily's not pretending. Carol's pretending that she doesn't
that's
care about it.
right. All right, so I guess we had to rank how terrible they are. We do.
But we're here.
So Lola appreciates what Serena's trying to do, but she is not part of this world and doesn't want to be either. So she tells Serena to tell Nate that she had to go. But she bumps into Ivy on her way out, and Ivy is very surprised to see her, even though Lola points out that even though I don't want to be here, I have more of a reason to be here than you do. And Ivy says that this sounds ridiculous, but the Vanderwoodsons are the closest thing that she has to an actual family, even though they all hate her.
It's her quote every episode.
It should be a drinking game. Take a shot every time Ivy says,
Episode, I guess.
these are really my family, even though they don't speak to me. Shut up.
Listen,
Shut up.
she just wants a family.
I know.
Her hair color
That's why I
different
feel-
today.
why I
It was
feel-
different in the last episode.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
It looked
Wow.
pretty.
Well, that's why I feel for my girl Ivy, because she still just wants a family, and Lola actually has the opposite problem. She's like, yeah, the Vanderwoodsons fucking can't get enough of me, and I want nothing to do with them. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Lola thinks that maybe her mom was just trying to protect her, and Ivy's like, by stealing all of your money.
Got him.
Great point.
Good point. Yep.
And so,
yep.
Georgina approaches them, gives them a little push to start digging. Georgina's always thinking, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Listen, money doesn't explain why you hide your daughter for 18 years, unless you're being paid to do so. But judging by her shoes and her hair, I'd say that wasn't so." Which it invokes paranoia and also is just
Also
shitting
sick
on,
burn.
on people's yeah, effortless.
Yeah.
And so Georgina tells Lola that she has to go to someone on the outside, someone who isn't afraid of them, someone like, and in walks Uncle Billy Baldwin. That's right. Serena's father's back, and Serena
Yeah.
didn't even have to ride a horse this time for him to come. He showed up. He showed up without the horse.
Did somebody say dead grandma? Walk to the house. Everyone cheers.
I heard the polka music playing from down the street, and I could only imagine that scene.
Hand me some Jedi.
Let's get this party started. Where's my daughter? Where's my fake niece? Where's my real niece? Who's actually my daughter? Where is it? Come on. Let's party. Yeah, that was the actual line.
Yeah, that was the only way to
Serena's-
And Serena's like,
Serena's-
Dad, Daddy. And she runs into his
You're
arms.
here. You're here. I love you, Daddy. Oh, you're such a great man. Not giving mommy fake cancer this time.
I'm your only daughter. Kiss, kiss.
I'm your only daughter. Your only real daughter. So, he says he wouldn't miss this for the world. Not because Cece died, because he just lives for polka music probably.
Yeah.
But he's
And whiskey.
He also points out.
Get
Yeah.
on.
He's like, I'm just sorry Eric couldn't make it here from Zaire. no matter what happens, you can't get Connor Paolo back on the show. DC could die, Serena could die. He's done. He's not going back.
No.
Did he quit for a reason?
Yeah, he got a regular role on. Boy, I mess up the name of this show every time. It's not Scandal. It's another one-worded show. Revenge, I think, is what it is.
Got ya.
And so this is when they have Serena and Uncle Billy have some of this just relatable, witty banter where Serena's like, I thought they call Zaire the Democratic Republic of Congo now. And Dr. Billy replies, they do, but trust me, it's not. And they start chuckling. And I was like, oh, boy, I love this geography humor. It's really, they're really getting me.
Congo is not so democratic.
Not so democratic, if you know what I'm talking about.
Nobody goes to the polls over there. It's crazy.
So Dr. Billy sees fake Charlie and tells her it's great to see her again. I don't remember them meeting, but I guess they did. I guess they must have last season. I don't know. But Georgina is thrilled to tell him that he's late to the party and introduces him to his actual niece. And then Serena asks Georgina what she's even doing here. But like this week is so crazy in general that it's not even that much of a surprise that Georgina's here.
She's like, what are you doing? And doesn't she like walk away? Like, I feel like she's like, and just leaves.
She's probably more upset that the gardener is that the help is here than Georgina's here.
When Billiam is introduced to his real daughter, or his real niece at the time, I think he's just like, huh? And doesn't really care to ask further questions.
He's like, whatever.
Something crazy's always happening over here. Georgina whispers to Lola that Daddy V-Dubs has known the road since high school and probably has a secret or two to share if she asks nicely. Again, and this is when I was like, why is Georgina invested in this? But then I remembered she just loves chaos. So that's the only thing you need to know. And and so Nate finds Lola and he's like, hey, Serena said you left, but here you are with Ivy. Love how nonchalantly he says that. And he starts his speech to Ivy about why she should leave, but Lola stops him. She's going to stay, and so is Ivy, because they are going to get to the bottom of why her mom kept her away all these years. Interesting that Lola cares so much all of a sudden, but here we are.
Yeah, I have a complaint about that with the other Charlie as well later on.
Later on, okay.
Yeah, later on. It's just fun, but I do like the Charlie team up for now, though.
Charlie, 2x4.
Yes. Charlie 2x4. That's what they call it. That's the other spinoff. Charlie 2x4.
Could not fit through the front door. and that funny thing, people like try to walk through a door together, like, oh, sorry, you go first. Oh, no, you go first. They keep bumping into the sides of the door.
So, Este's on the phone. Louis has agreed. She needs to be on the next plane back so she can make it to the press conference where Louis will announce that it became clear Blair was only ever after his title. And then the royal family's publicist will start to build Este up. But what about Blair? The prince and the Serene Highness are only willing to annul the marriage if Blair agrees to a gag order on all matters regarding the dissolution. They can be the only ones to speak about it publicly. Blair is not allowed to talk about it. No blast on Gossip Girl. No Page 6 interviews. And Blair doesn't give a shit. She's like, okay, great. Just get me out of this marriage.
Yeah, fair enough. I still am not convinced that Este is next in line. I bet Louis was like, yeah, sure. Like,
Este is nexty?
Yeah, I don't think she's nexty at all. Someone else will be thrust upon him.
We'll see.
I hope not. I don't think really. I don't want to see that.
I hope not at all.
I was really grateful that I saw Dowry in the title. I was like, here comes Louis. And we didn't have to see him. That was nice.
I'm so glad. I'm so sick of his face.
Yeah.
It's me, wee.
There you
go. Blair lets Este know they won't hear a peep from her. So obviously this seems too good to be true. Feels like Gossip Girl has to fuck this up somehow. But also, at this point I was thinking, if this is what's going to get Blair to the marriage, why did we even bring up the loophole at the top of the episode? Like all of this is so like convoluted and pointless. Like it feels like the writers like mid-episode still don't know with what solution they're going to go with to get Blair out of this marriage. They're just like saying one of these will pull through for her. I don't know what's going on though.
They're like, we'll figure this out, but let's let it roll out first. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, there's too many things like introduced and taken back and forth.
And of course, when she's walking away, like it pans out and Georgina's right outside listening to, oh, I'll stay out of the headlines. I promise.
Yeah.
Georgina's like, sure you will.
Right place, right time. But yeah, we talk about how the writers seem to be switching episode to episode and just like taking back plot lines and doing it seems like two writers are like wrestling with each other this very episode to just like fight over what plot they're going to be going with.
Well, the loophole would be too easy.
It would be too easy.
So having the loophole, it's like, okay, boring.
Then it would be pointless. Like, all right, so now I guess she can get with Chuck. And that would be it.
So
Oh, she's not in love with him anymore.
I'm not with him anymore. For now.
who knows?
Out of nowhere. Yep. So
It's hard for me to follow.
If I was Chuck, I would be going absolutely crazy because now it's like, you know what? Maybe Blair really doesn't love me because she's officially made up like 2 things in the past 2 months about why she can't be with me. She's literally like making up excuses and gaslighting me.
I'd also be going crazy.
Yeah, poor guy.
I think I'd be pretty cool, calm and collected.
Yeah. As you are.
You've always been cool
As usual, yeah, thank you.
So Georgina goes to Chuck at the bar, and she asks why he's so calm since Gossip Girl's latest hiccup made him look even worse in Blair's eyes. No one's really talking about how uncharacteristically stupid Gossip Girl was leaking the entire email. Like no one's saying like, yeah, it was kind of weird that Gossip Girl did
Oh my God, it was Chuck.
Yeah, they're just kind of like, oh, all right, Gossip Girl did this thing. All right, I guess we're dealing with that now.
Yeah.
But Chuck isn't upset because while Blair might be mad at him today, at least she knows that Dan isn't the good guy he pretends to be. So all worth it in Chuck's eyes. A loss for Dan is a win for Chuck.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like we've also kind of known that Dan's not like the most stand-up guy that he pretends to be for a little while now.
Yeah.
He's always been selfish.
Oh yeah. So Georgina tells Chuck what she just overheard that what is she
Staying
overheard?
out of the headlines.
Right. That they might not be having to wait a year. Like the thing might get resolved pretty quickly because of the whole SC situation. But a new scandal could probably derail it if Chuck asks fast enough. And so Chuck is certain that Blair will come to her senses, but Georgina asks, what if she doesn't? And Chuck lives his life in regret, where he could have stopped her from ending up with the pretentious poser. Just something to think about. And before she leaves, Chuck asks her what she has in mind, and Georgina shows him the picture of Dan and Blair kissing again. But how can they trust that Gossip Girl won't leave Chuck's fingerprints on another blast? And Georgina's like, listen, we can't guarantee it, which is why we use Gossip Girl's latest screw-up to their advantage and leave someone else's prints instead. Oh, look, it's Dan's phone. And this was when I was like, oh, is this Georgina's plan all along? Because this is perfect, but I think she's just great at improvising.
Yeah, she could be.
Like she got the phone knowing like this will come in handy at some point, and saw the opportunity. And was like, all right, this is why I got that phone.
Now we can use my idiot boyfriend's stupidity to our advantage here, and we could pretend that it was Dan that leaked it.
The craziest thing is he didn't learn his lesson. Like he's like, I screwed up, and she's like, you sure did. And then he's like, but I'm gonna keep Dan's name in it anyway. Like
I think this one she must
what
have
do I do?
posted
Copy and
mobile.
paste?
I think she posted this one, no? From
No.
her phone? Like mobily?
No.
No?
I think she sends it in. He sends it in through Dan's phone and then
I like that better. I hope he does
mess up twice.
fuck up twice, yeah.
Best character.
I hope he just messes up for the rest of the series. I hope he's in charge of Gossip Girl. So Lily wants to search Carol's bag all of a sudden. William comes over. He's happy to see that nothing's changed. He asks how Carol is doing. Carol and Lily continue arguing while they are literally shouting over the coffin of their recently deceased mother. And Lily tells Carol to get out of her apartment this minute. It feels like the writers literally just whipped up this argument out of nowhere just so Billy could explain to them that, this is actually Cece's apartment, not Lily's. The only reason you have the home is because Cece bought it for you for tax purposes, of course, but now it's part of the estate. It's like, oh, this might come into play later.
Yeah, it's like, are we foreshadowing? Very, very blatantly foreshadowing here.
Just remember, everyone, this apartment's Cece's, not Lily's. All right, as you were.
This whole episode is even more of a disgrace to Cece's death because they still do not care that Cece's dead at all.
No.
I'm surprised they didn't knock over the coffin at some point and Cece just sprawled out of it.
Apparently they're rustling and they knock it over. Cece falls out of it.
So, and another small twist. Apparently, William is also the executor of Cece's estate, and he brought her will. Why? Who knows?
Because his name's Will.
That's why.
His name's Will. That's what it was. The family's surprised, but, as William points out, he and Cece had a long and enduring friendship, which very interesting to people that Cece chose
it was weird when he said
to.
air quotes over friendship, too.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that, Willie?
Willie?
Who else is your daughter here?
Good question.
Carol thinks it's weird that out of everyone in the world, Cece chose the father of Lily's children, and Lily uses this as an opportunity to tell Carol that she couldn't have chosen the father of her children because there aren't enough DNA tests in the county to find him.
Yeah, she got her with that one.
Joke of the episode? So William lets them blow off some steam, and he runs into Lola, and she informs him that she recently found out she was part of this family and wants to know why she was never allowed to know. But before Billy can say anything, Carol comes over to interrupt the conversation and whisk him away. Did you have any, Yeah. Oh, Nicole's nodding her head. Did you think anything was up there?
Said it out loud.
Yeah.
She's like, I have an idea, and I was like, what? That Willie's her.
Why do you keep calling him Willie?
Willie's her dad.
Steamboat Willie's her father?
Yeah, I finished her sentence for her. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
And also, at the same time I was watching this, Mel Got Served was watching it, and she texted me saying, I have a theory that William is Lola's dad. And so everyone was just predicting this at the time, I guess, yeah.
Those were exactly my words. I was like, I have a theory.
But what I didn't know is at the time he didn't know, because like when Lola comes up to him to talk to him, he does look like he's got nothing to say to her. He's like, "Hey kid."
But as soon as she came up, what's her name? Carol, and she came up and like interrupted. I was like,
that was the biggest tell. Oh, she's like, she doesn't want these two interacting right now.
But I think yeah, crazy.
So everyone saw it coming, but still a nice twist nonetheless.
Sure.
More on that later, of course.
I think the reveal is maybe funny, if anything.
Yeah. When
later on, when it happens.
What idiot's her dad?
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. We'll say it again.
Dorota and Blair. Dorota's apologizing that Essie, a Jedi, mind tricked her into telling her that Blair was at the wake. Dorota can't handle all of these secrets. But Blair thinks it's okay that Essie found her because everything is going to work out. Even though that is not what Cyrus has said. He's been trying to reach Blair all day. Blair's still confident. She doesn't have to worry because she took care of the annulment herself. But Dorota's like, then why did the Grimaldis just ask for all of the money now? So I guess that's why Cyrus is still involved, because Blair was not able to do this on her own because I guess Georgina is ruining everything. And Blair tells Dorota that the deal about everything being fine as long as Blair stays out of the press. But Dorota thinks that Sophie may have seen Gossip Girl, and she shows her the Blair Blast.
The Blairst.
The Blairst. That's the picture of Blair and Dan kissing with the caption, "Please post ASAP, Dan."
Please show everyone how much I love this girl.
Signed, Dan.
Forever yours.
I love it. I would just start, like, once you know that there's some idiot posting as Gossip Girl, just leaving everyone's signatures in, I would just start posting under fake names.
Yeah.
It's simple as that.
Start signing stuff Rufus. Like, I don't even know.
Please post this immediately, Rufus. I'm so proud of my son.
He's finally going to get the storybook ending of Inside, after all.
So Dr. Billy is reading Cece's will. First and most importantly, she leaves her thoroughbreds to the stables. Secondly, she leaves her Fabergé egg collection. But Serena interrupts because she doesn't want Ivy here for this. And William's like, is she bothering anyone? And they all just complain about her being a con artist. Carol says she's not a good one, but based on the sour looks from everyone, I'd say that's not true. Like, she had you all fooled for a long time.
She was great.
So, it would be crazy if she
got herself out of many jams.
Every jam, almost.
The fact that she got out of that Max jam, like, really speaks to her ability.
Yeah, that was the biggest one. The fact that if Billy didn't know she was a part of this will, that'd be a crazy thing to say, though. Just like, is this random girl bothering anyone? Can't she just listen to the will reading for fun?
I mean, if not, for fun. She keeps saying, like, her thing every time is like, she was invited. Like, Ivy. He's like, Ivy was invited to be here, so I'm not going to kick her out, and everyone has to respect Cece's wishes. Like, how much, like they didn't know that Cece was going to die right that second. So, like, when is Cece, like, did she have this all in writing? Like, I invite Ivy to the wake. I invite Ivy to hear the will reading. I invite, like,
yeah, I guess because she was dying, so she's like, I should set this all up as I'm dying.
Darling, if I die, I want you at the wake. I want you at the will reading. I'm not going to tell you why. I want you there. Because you're invited. And if anyone tells you to leave, just say that you were invited.
And say that you live there now.
And the gardener be there too. She's also invited. And where's that man who saved me from the fire? He's invited too.
And when you kick Lily Rivers out of the house, make sure Weird Al plays him out.
So I feel like they were really telegraphing the fact that something was going to happen with Ivy and the will, because they're just they're just like the whole time they're like, Ivy can't be here, and they're like, well, let's just have her hang around here just in case. We'll see what happens.
She might be
like, maybe. So back to the wake. To stick with the Irish theme, Dreams by Cranberries starts playing, which always a lovely touch there.
Oh, yeah.
Always love hearing that song. Georgina gives Dan back his phone, tells him he dropped it, and she lets him see what he sent into Gossip Girl. Dan is immediately frazzled. He's like, we had a deal. If you protect me, don't tell anyone you're Gossip Girl. And Georgina's like, yep, I sold you out, so start talking. She gives no shit. This is why you don't make a deal with Georgina.
You can't
at any moment she might be like, I don't care.
I stopped caring about it.
Tell everyone I'm Gossip Girl. Okay. So she had fun being Gossip Girl. She said, I'm just glad that my final blast was my masterpiece. I'm sorry if it ruins your life. And Dan seems more concerned about it ruining Blair's life, but this only makes Georgina even happier. She's like, oh, what a mess. It's like I took down the entire Upper East Side, and she just says it with the hugest grin on her face. This is what villains are supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that quote from Georgina when I impregnate Nicole. I'm going to say, well, my final blast is my masterpiece.
Final blast?
It'll be my final blast.
I'm never blasting again.
Ew. Cut that.
So Blair comes over ready to yell at Dan, and Dan deflects by saying it was Georgina and that she's Gossip Girl. But Blair doesn't even believe him. But Georgina has to step in and be like, no, that part's half true. She explains that she hacked in when Gossip Girl skipped town and no one noticed. We still don't get an explanation as to how Georgina did this, but we just have to accept that she was able to hack into Gossip Girl.
No passports. No passwords.
No passport. It's the laptop era. The Louis laptop era.
It's the laptop era, yeah. So Dan again reiterates that he didn't do this, and Chuck comes over. This is what Chuck's doing all episode, just like coming up behind Dan and like whispering, "How does it feel to be set up and lose the person you love for something you didn't do?"
I think Chuck wants to
walk
fuck Dan, honestly.
He might want to.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I would ship it.
I would.
Hmm?
Chan.
Duck is good.
Duck.
So Blair stops Esty and begs with her that there must be a way to salvage their deal with the Grimaldis. And Esty's like, there might be, if there ever was a deal. Turns out Esty made the whole deal thing up and that Georgina was behind this as well. Like, okay.
Classic.
Which you should believe because Esty is not a lawyer. Like, yeah, you made it up.
Not a lawyer.
Trust Cyrus.
Esty knew that once Chuck heard Blair was free again, he'd do something foolish, but even she didn't think it would happen this fast. Either way, she has to get back to Monaco because she has a prince to console. And Georgina looks at Blair and goes, standing ovation? Why, thank you. And leaves. I am indeed giving her a standing ovation.
And me and Nicole were up. Even Puma was on her back two hind legs.
Yeah.
Putting her little paw pads
I was
together.
throwing my cats up in the air. What a celebration.
Celebration.
So, Dan's arguing with Chuck. He tells Chuck that he doesn't realize what he's done, but Chuck seems to realize that he's brought light to the real villain, and tells Chuck that he bankrupted the Waldorf family. Not really right.
Not realizing.
Chuck's acting like he. World War Waldorf. Humphrey. All right, I'm ready.
We're back.
Smart, fast like Baja Blast. All right, I'm ready. Chuck's acting like he didn't know that it was enough to bankrupt the Waldorfs, even though like a few weeks ago he was letting Blair, like he was telling Blair that he would pay it. So it seemed like he did know that it would be that much, but now he's like, "What? No, it could never bankrupt her. No, that's impossible."
That much money?
He knew it was a ton.
That much money?
I also feel like he's just gonna pay it.
That was his plan originally.
Yeah.
He offered to do that.
I'm like, he's gonna sell the hotel and pay it.
I don't think he even needs to.
That Chuck Bass has a lot of money.
Oh, he does indeed. So Chuck and Dan are arguing over who the real bad guy is, and Blair comes over and asks what's going on. So Chuck explains that ever since the accident, Dan has been trying to keep Chuck and Blair apart so he can have her all to himself. And Dan's like, yep, he's right. Sorry. And then he leaves. So victory for Chuck? Still doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't feel like it. And I think Dan, it's a good move by Dan just to walk out of here. He's like, yeah, I'll tell the truth. That's the only thing I can really do in this position. And I'll walk away. And hopefully Blair will settle her feelings in her head. Yeah.
My bad, he said, and he left.
He said, my dad.
What did you say?
My dad.
Yeah, he starts using his name like a verb.
My Dan.
Like the dean does.
My dad.
Yeah.
My dad.
Talking about my dad.
My Dan.
My dad.
This is the musical episode.
Georgina should have had an abortion.
Oh, don't say that about little Milo.
Sorry, Milo.
Poor guy.
Back to the will reading. Back to will reading the will. Lily seems to be getting mostly everything. Carol's unhappy, so she makes fun of Lily for being married 5 times. Classic.
Got him.
But Lily obviously calls out the fact that Carol tried to embezzle her own daughter's trust fund, and now the girls are fighting. And while Lily and Carol are arguing with each other, William reads that the rest of the estate, along with all the money in stocks and bonds and safety deposit boxes, I leave to you. And he looks straight at Ivy. And Carol, of course, thinks she means, yes, of course, Charlotte Rhodes, my daughter. But no, the will says so right here, Ivy Dickens. So it seems that Cece knew that Charlie was actually Ivy this whole time.
Also, why would Carol believe that she gave everything to her daughter, who she didn't know?
Oh, obviously my daughter.
Yeah.
This is my daughter, who
Psych.
she's never met.
Everything goes to Lily, and then Charlie Rhodes.
And like, not only did she must have known that Charlie was actually Ivy this whole time, don't know how exactly, but like,
Because she knows all of Ivy's secrets.
yeah, and she liked her so much she left her the entire estate.
Yeah, that's wild to
Yeah,
me.
I guess there was that moment a
I
while
love
ago
it.
where she like looked at Ivy and was like, "I know." When
know.
she was on the couch.
I know who you really are.
Yeah.
Make sure you come to my will. There might be a little something in there for you. Wink.
I hope you like Irish parties.
Everyone is obviously stunned at this revelation here. Lily is already yelling at poor Ivy as if she had something to do with this. I mean, I get the instinct. She is a
Yeah,
con
how could she
artist,
not?
but Ivy looks as shocked as everyone else here.
Because from the family's point of view, it looks like this girl killed their mother and
Yeah.
took all her money.
Yeah.
Which is it? Is she a bad con artist, or did she fucking...
Or did she get everything?
or did she kill your mom and steal all her money? Like, you can't be
And
both.
she's getting away with it too.
If I'm Ivy, I'd be like, and you said I was a bad con artist.
Now get out of my house.
Carol wants to go to the police. Ivy explains that she never asked Cece for anything, but now Serena gets involved, and she tells her that she poisoned her against her entire family and manipulated her into giving her everything. And Ivy's like, that's not true. Your grandmother just wanted someone to talk to. And I mean, Ivy is going to point this out, but the family literally did this to themselves, being the most unbearable people in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. It's annoying to hear Ivy continuously say this over and over again and defend herself, but I guess what else can she say? Because they're going to continue to think what they're going to think, and she has to just be like, that's not true. I liked you guys.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. I like it.
You're my only family.
You're my only family. Love you guys. I'll see you at Christmas. If I let you in the house.
Yeah, you're like she's like Christmas at my place.
That's what. So this is. I guess I'll talk about it now a little bit. Like this is what I don't get. Like I guess this whole thing gave her a sour taste in her mouth because her whole thing, her entire time in the show has been, I want you guys to be a family, and now she's kicking Lily out of her house.
I think she's realized there's no chance of that. Like they're not gonna forgive her.
I guess she's kind of back to where she used to be. Besides having a lot of money now.
She's got some leverage now, though.
But
She's like,
yeah, but
So-
her whole thing was she was lonely.
they
So
wanna
if
live
she
in that
has
house,
money
they
now,
have to love me.
She's not anywhere where she used to be if she's got money in this big place
Yeah.
now.
She could buy friends now.
She could.
Buy family.
She can.
Yeah.
She could. Just ask Jenny.
Yeah. So exactly. So Carol starts attacking Ivy's acting skills. Even Lola's like, "Mom, come on, come on." And
That's
Ivy
where Lola
swears on
tries
her
to
life. Yeah, don't attack her acting. Come
Yeah.
on. As an actor
As an
myself,
actor.
that's a little too far. Ivy swears on her life that all she did was help take care of Cece, and she even tried to tell them that she was sick. I mean, they didn't know that Cece was dying, but if any of these people did like visit their mom once in a while, they would I guess realize it and could have
Yeah, that's true too.
talked to her every day too.
She wasn't far. She was just down the road.
Yeah,
They were too busy cartoonishly counting silver
that's true.
to make sure my silver's in order. So I love that Lily just calmly says to Carol without even looking at her, "Would you please just shut up?" Lily doesn't care about the money, but Carol won't stop yapping about it. Lily is asking the important questions.
Yes.
She asks Ivy, "How do we know that you didn't try to hasten our mother's death?" And the shit-eating grin she has on afterwards is great. She's like, "I got you now. How do I know you didn't try to hasten my mother's death?" She's like, Gotcha,
Gotcha, hastener.
you hastener.
You love to hasten.
Ivy's offended. I loved Cece, and Lola's heard enough, so she leaves. Serena leaves after her. Ivy stands her ground and tells her that fake mom and her fake aunt, that they can think whatever they want about her, but she never lied to Cece. And Lily wants her to prove it, and Ivy simply tells her, "Did you hear the will? She called me... she didn't call me Charlie Rhodes. She called me Ivy Dickens. Your mother knew all of my secrets, and she knew all of yours, too. Maybe that's why she left me everything."
Burn.
Oh,
You see that one coming?
I didn't see that.
Wow.
That was big. I didn't pick up on that when Willie was reading the Willie.
Huh?
Said Ivy Dickens. Willie
Yeah,
would read the Willie.
Didn't realize it.
Yes, I was happy to hear that it said Ivy Dickens. I was like,
You sound happy.
I was so happy. I was happy. I was like, all right, good for her.
Yeah. So Chuck and Blair now. Chuck says that ever since the accident, it's been Humphrey sabotaging their relationship, and now that they know the truth, there's nothing in their way. But Blair tells Chuck that Humphrey isn't the reason they're not together, and neither is the dowry, and neither is her little pact with God. She tells Chuck she doesn't blame him, and she knows why he did everything, and she even tells him that she loves him, and she always will. But that doesn't mean I'm in love with you, at least not right now, the way you need me to be, not the way you deserve. And she says sorry, and she steals Serena's line again. She says, "I have to go."
You gotta stop with that.
Yeah. Chuck looks very confused, and so am I. I was like, this is the latest obstacle keeping them apart now? Blair is randomly not in love with Chuck anymore?
Yeah,
Since when?
I pretty much said that too. It happened, and I was like, what the? So
Yeah.
pretty much the same thing.
And we've had this annoying speech from her before. She's like, "I love you, and I always will love you, but it's just not gonna work right now."
Why
Snooze
not?
fest.
Yeah.
That's
so
almost
stupid.
just as bad as I love you guys. You're my only family. It's like, okay, we've heard it before.
Yeah.
Find something new to say.
I mean, needless to say, I was not throwing my cat up in the air in celebration.
Yeah, throwing it down.
I punched
Hard on the
Puma.
ground.
I punched Puma.
Hitting my cat to the ground.
What are you gonna do about this?
Together! You get Chuck and Blair together right now. Yogi won't be eating until Chuck and Blair are together. So Yogi
Like,
better hope that they're
Yogi's like,
endgame.
"I ship duck, meow."
Duck meow. They also could be called hump ass.
Clunky.
Oh, I was just gonna ask if we're getting T-shirts that say I ship duck meow. Now, hump ass might be the way to go.
Just an idea, just throwing it out there.
Hop ass.
I like it.
Yeah.
Chuck and picture Chuck and Dan holding hands and it says hump ass.
I could do that. I could make that happen.
All right. There you go.
I had a point to make.
Serena-
I feel like about Chuck
I believe you.
Blair.
Okay.
The reason why the writers are running out of reasons to keep them apart until the end of the series. That's all that's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. They are.
They've
Just
got
get them
nothing
together.
left. They've got nothing left.
Just get them together. I beg of you.
Yeah.
They were together in season 3 and it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
You don't need to hold them apart any longer.
No. But they will.
Well,
It's the only thing
Serena
that they
finds
have
Lola.
people rooting for. It's like the only thing watchers were rooting for, I feel like.
but it doesn't need to be.
This is like the Rachel and Joey before Rachel and Ross get back together.
Oh, spoilers.
Like
I thought this was a spoiler-free pod.
Or the Barney and Robin
Not
before
for
the
fun.
Robin and Ted.
Oh,
No, Barney
again.
and Robin were Endgame. It's
They
completely
were meant to be.
different, and they completely
Just threw it
notched
out
the
the window.
fosh with that one.
Please,
Yeah.
don't even get me started.
But my
Don't
point is that
get me
the
started.
person before the
Oh.
person, I guess.
The person before the person.
So this is Dan right now.
I mean, I've
Like
never
you're my
seen-
person before my person.
right?
Oh,
So Serena finds Lola in the lobby, and she tries, her whole, and much like a lot of other things that oft get repeated, she tries her whole shtick again of, I know I'm not that much to look, but we're great people, we love family, we don't care about money. And she's like, Ivy Dickens is a thief. She already stole your identity and your money. Now she's about to rob the rest of us. Your family needs you right now.
like Serena,
And I
how much
feel
is
like-
your current outfit worth right now that you don't care about money? You're wearing $1 million
I feel like
worth
now-
of clothing.
Now more than ever, Lola must be feeling like she never asked to be a part of this family, and like this is why. And Serena is so in her own bubble that she can't see how ridiculous and terrible her family is.
Yeah, I don't know what she's even trying to accomplish. Why she cares so much about.
She's trying to recruit. She's like, we need you now. We need you against Ivy. We can't do this without you. Like, I don't know why, but okay.
It's
Lola gonna do?
it's obnoxious because if you think like a normal human being, which like Lola thinks like a normal human being, she's like, I don't know you people. You're strangers. You're not my family. Yeah, and Serena's like, "We're your family until like you do something wrong, and then we're going to drop you and say that we don't know who you are because you just showed up." Like that's exactly how it would go. Ugh, I hate Serena.
So do I. And Lola tells Serena she's not their family. And how about this? After listening to everyone upstairs, the only person she feels sorry for is Ivy. And I get it.
Yeah.
Serena's so incapable of seeing things from like Ivy's point of view or any outsider's point of view. She's just like, but the money's mine. Ivy stole it. She's the bad guy. We're the good guys.
I don't care about the money, but that money does belong to me. But I don't care about it.
Exactly.
But it's mine.
But I won't talk to Ivy because she took my money.
She stole the money.
Yeah.
I don't care about it.
I don't care.
I'm gonna go count my silver. You do what you want. I'm gonna go count my silver.
Is all the money given to Ivy, you give it to her in silver?
Yes. So Serena tells Lola that Ivy is a criminal, and Lola just answers, because your family made her into one. And she tells Serena that all they do is lie to each other and fight about money, so what's the difference, really? She is clocking the shit out of the Rhodes women.
Yeah. See, this is the moment where Lola should be saying, like, I don't want fucking coffee with you, Serena. Last episode, it didn't make any sense. Now she has reason to be like, get away from me.
It still didn't make sense. I mean, no, it made plenty sense not to get coffee with her.
Last time she could have been.
It didn't make sense that she was so rude about it, though.
She'd be like, you know what? I got a lot going on right now. Just maybe some other time would have been like a more normal answer.
Serena.
She seemed like she already had a chip on her shoulder.
Yeah, she had a chipple on her shoulder.
Chipple on her.
Chipple,
nipple.
yeah.
She had
a chipple on her chipple. I got a chipple on my nipple.
Brendan's also saying nipple. I don't know if you're hearing that through the microphone.
I heard it once. I heard him say nipple once. I just disregarded it.
I like shipple better.
Harmonizing. He says shipple. I say nipple.
No.
Yeah, that's what harmony is. When we just say sing
wrong words.
Yeah.
We're harmonizing. We're singing two completely different songs.
Lola's regretting sticking around today. She was dumb enough to think she might find some answers, but at least now she knows she was wrong. And she leaves and gets into a taxi with Nate Archibald. I wonder how Nate feels about all this.
He doesn't care.
He just really needs to go home and ice his lip.
He's nursing that lacrosse injury.
Are we fucking tonight or what? All right.
Even though I got a broken dick and my lip is fine.
Actual dialogue. Carol talks to William. She tells William to fix this, but Cece's wishes are Cece's wishes, even though Carol was counting on this being her big payday. She tells William that if he doesn't find a way to make this right, she's going to be forced to resort to other ways to get her money. And William fires back with, like, getting a real job.
That was good. That was good.
That might have been my joke of the episode. That was a good one. Carol's always hesitated going after Lola's father for child support. He owes her for almost 20 years, and William wishes her good luck with that and asks if he even knows who that sucker is. And she's like, I'm looking right at him.
Which I almost said word for word with her.
Yeah, she did.
I that was like my response as it was happening, and I was like, whoa. I wrote this episode.
Yeah.
We all said it at the same time.
But Willie's face was very funny. Just like the...
Yeah.
That's not what he looked like.
Bad surprise face.
Imagine he just like turned. He just like looked around like.
Where are you looking? It looks like you're looking at me, but you must be looking.
Are you looking through me? Is there somebody behind me?
What idiot here fathered that child? So Serena's father, William, is actually Lola's father as well, which means they are half sisters. And we all saw this twist coming, but William is shocked. Carol is threatening to expose their affair to Lily, unless of course he has another idea. And of course, Georgina happens to be right there listening in. I
love her,
I guess, and she is thrilled that her lucky day keeps getting luckier. And I guess she now has control over Gossip Girl again instead of Philip, because she's like posting things to Gossip Girl
without names on them.
Right.
Yeah, I believe so. She pays Blair a visit, and this time even Blair has to ask how Georgina keeps getting past her doorman. And Georgina claims she never meant to hurt Blair. She was just collateral damage. When she decided to stop being Gossip Girl, she knew that anyone who knew would have it out for her, so she started collecting favors to use as protection. The picture of Blair and Dan was her golden ticket to use with Chuck, and she'd love a golden ticket from Blair as well. Blair wants to know why she would ever be indebted to Georgina, and it's because Georgina has a way that Blair can get out of her dowry and get a divorce in the process. She says, I've been Gossip Girl for 2 months. You have no idea the dirt I have on people. I've been good for so long. It's time to be bad. Mm-hmm. And she wants to solve all of Blair's problems. She holds out her hand. Blair shakes it. They make the deal. And if Georgina can get this done, Blair will do whatever she needs.
I mean...
I'm worried.
You said it before that you don't want to make deals with this lady, but she feels like she's got no choice right now.
I mean, now randomly Georgina's going to be the thing that gets Blair out of this marriage.
Yeah, she doesn't tell her how at
secret,
all.
No.
Nope. A secret third option arose out of nowhere, and it's going to be Georgina. But all right, I guess Georgina's off to Monaco.
Good for her.
I guess she's just such a nut job that you could believe that she has something up her sleeve and something on.
I'm sure she does.
Next week, Blair's going to be watching the news, and Georgina's going to somehow be the Princess of Monaco.
Yeah. Honestly.
That would be great.
They're just going to show Georgina like wearing a crown on her head, just somehow took control of everything. Chuck pays Lily a visit. It's been a while since we've gotten a new, a nice Charles Lily scene, but it seems like this one is just kind of shoehorned in to get Lily to reveal to Chuck that Jack gave him blood. So,
yeah.
And then nothing comes of that really either. Just like it's very
Not yet.
emotional. I guess
Not
not
yet.
Yeah, sure. But I could see it not coming up again. Honestly.
It'll come up in
there's
like
a blood.
it'll be like the last episode of the entire series. It'll be like, oh yeah, Jack, thanks for that, by the way, and then that's it.
Maybe. Yeah.
And he turns to Chuck and goes, "You're welcome." Black. That's how it's going.
Because what it says, my thought process was like, does Chuck now think he has to be bad all the time because he's got Jack's blood inside of him? The bad.
I know. I was wondering that too. Because
every time he does anything, he's like, "It's not me.
It's the Jack.
Jack's blood.
Yeah.
It's Jack's blood. I can't.
I
help
swear,
it.
I was.
I got Jack's blood coursing through my veins. I can't help but screw you over, Blair."
I'm a bad man.
Well, I thought
It's
the
not
exact
me,
same thing when he was like, I don't even feel like I'm alive anymore. I don't even feel like myself. And then she's like, Jack
You're like,
gave you his blood.
Jack.
And he's like, oh.
Just after Lily.
Yeah, right.
This is Jack blood.
He just starts like bleeding out. He's like, I'd rather die than have Jack's blood inside of me.
So Chuck confides in Lily that Blair walked away from him today, not like she's done in the past, and he feels like she's changing. I do like that he went to Lily with his problems. That's always sweet. But,
Yeah.
Chuck tells Lily that sometimes it feels like he died in the car crash, and Lily reminds him that he survived the crash, and Chuck responds, "Thanks to St. Waldorf." But Lily replies, "You mean thanks to St. Jack?" Apparently the doctors, nor anyone else, have told Chuck that when he was in surgery, they needed a family member for a blood transfusion, and Lily gave the doctors Jack's number. So no one informed Chuck of this.
Yeah, I think when
somehow.
he got out, they were just like, "Well, Chuck, you're all better."
Hey, you're awake. Nothing to report about your blood.
Blood's all clean. Goodbye.
All the same blood you had before.
You're alive because Blair prayed a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, but Blair prayed. And all your blood's the same. All right, bye.
All right, bye.
So evil Uncle Jack Bass has saved Chuck's life, and weird that he not only has no one told him this, Jack hasn't been throwing it in Chuck's face afterwards, which seems unlike him. Hey, little nephew, your blood's in me. My blood's in you.
Now you have to do right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll take my blood away from you. That's my Jack.
The doctors can reverse it. They'll give me the blood back.
Yeah.
I gave you my blood. I can take it out. So Nate and Lola are walking on the sidewalk. They're eating snacks. Lola calls Nate the only good thing in her life right now.
What
She's
does
really
Nate
done.
say here? What is the snack that they're eating?
Chocolates.
That's some kind of nut chocolate.
It's some kind of chocolate. I don't know what.
Because he says it like in a southern accent.
Nothing like some nuts and chocolate.
Like these, yeah. Maybe that's
like a nut chocolate.
He's probably speaking weird because of his fat lip.
Right. I was gonna say it wasn't a southern accent. He was just mumbling because of the. So Lola gets a phone call from Dr. Billy. He felt bad that they weren't able to finish their conversation, so he asked Serena for her phone number, and he tells her that he's at the Empire if she needs to reach him. And she's like, "Okay, I'll call you then, I guess." So
Yeah, I want to
what's
call
this
you
guy-
to
what's-
finish that conversation some other time.
yeah, no, not now, not over the phone.
Not
If
now.
you want me, I can be at the Empire. What's this guy's plans? What's he up to?
I don't really know.
I wasn't sure if it was mostly just because he wanted to, knowing that he has a daughter,
Another child.
daughter, he's like, I want to just maybe be in her life a little bit. I don't know if he has got a real plan or just...
Well, he has to have some kind of plan, because Carol's like, if you don't fix this, I'm going to tell Lily.
Right. So how do you keep her...
Maybe he's just going to give her a ton of money.
Maybe he's going to give her fake cancer. That's always his go-to move.
That's his go-to, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I
like,
need to
"Hey."
talk to you about your cancer. She's like, we met yesterday at a wake. Yeah, you got the cancer from the wake.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll be at the Empire if you need me. All right. Bye, daughter. I mean, Lola.
Niece Lola.
Not my niece, Lola. Not my daughter. All right. Bye. Whew, nailed that one. Georgina's giving up Gossip Girl. She explains to Philip that with Chuck and Blair both beholden to her, she's more powerful than ever. So it is time to pass the Gossip Girl baton and see if they can outshine her or die trying. She gives Philip her Gossip Girl laptop and tells him to send it for her, and she's off to Monaco.
To be princess.
Yeah, she deserves a vacation, that girl, so.
She works hard.
She'll be back in the next big event, for sure.
She'll be back. Once she saves Blair's, or opposite of saves it, once she ruins Blair's marriage, she can go on to whatever the next thing she
what she's going to do is go to Monaco in that beautiful black dress again she wore at the wedding.
Yep.
Simple as that. Like you can't resist it
All
twice.
over.
With the priest's outfit on?
Yeah.
Everyone's leaving the penthouse. Lily is finally excited for some peace and quiet, but Ivy's still here, and she asks if she's interrupting something. And Rufus like, all right, listen. It's been a long day. Get the hell out of here. It'd be best if you left. And Ivy's like, yeah, I was going to say the same thing. But to the two of you, and Ivy steps in front of the coffin, looks them in the eyes, and calmly tells them, this is my apartment now. Lily, not about to let Ivy live here. She's like, this will all get sorted out. Ivy's not deterred. She just goes, naturally, but you'll have to do it from someplace else.
Got him. A lot of zingers in this episode.
Yeah. Which is also so funny because Lily's worst nightmare is having to sleep over the loft.
Rufus's house?
Yeah.
She's like, we don't have another place in the city.
We don't have another apartment in the city.
Yeah, honey, we do.
Please sleep over.
He's never been so excited. Oh, we need to stay in the loft. Even if they didn't have another house, I'm sure they could afford a hotel for a couple of nights. Whatever will we do, us billionaires? We can't live on the streets.
We can bring all our silver to the hotel.
Yeah, she doesn't
What
now
will I do
get
with my
all of Lily's
silver?
money. She just gets her home.
That's my silver now. She gets the home and all of Cece's money.
Yeah.
Lily's
Lily's got her own money, yeah.
This is living in a disgusting Brooklyn loft.
Where that green jacket lives.
Where the what?
I mean,
Rufus's big
that green puffy jacket. I mean, throwing a grieving daughter out on the day of her mother's wake is a little nuts, but I do like
Baller move.
But she's not really grieving. She's not grieving.
That's true. I do like Ivy standing up to the rich people and being like, "Yep, this is mine now, and I'm taking advantage of it."
Grieve elsewhere, bitches.
She's like, I hear Brooklyn's nice.
Maybe if they were a little bit nicer, she wouldn't be doing this. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
Nice to your fake nieces.
That's it.
They might inherit everything.
And that's the lesson learned in this episode.
But again, it's still a little funny to me that she is kicking everyone out of her life. I know that no one's been really nice to her lately, but also they think that she, again, killed her mother and stole their money.
Would you have rather her just live with them? Just be like, you can stay here, but I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
And she just awkwardly sits at breakfast. She's like, can I have a waffle, Rufus? Technically, that waffle maker's mine too. Make me some waffles.
It's my house, and you're my mommy.
Everything in this house is mine. You're my mommy and daddy. So, Serena's laying in bed. Dorota comes in to clean, but sees that Serena is bummed out and tells her it was a beautiful wake for Miss Cece and that goodbyes are never easy. I don't know that we've ever seen one of these Serena Dorota scenes like that. Also
nice.
kind of sweet, I guess.
Yeah.
Serena's sick of goodbyes. It's all she seems to say these days, and Dorota tells her that something new will arrive soon, as it always does, and Serena's ready for it, whatever it is.
I mean, if Serena would stop saying, I gotta go, she would stop saying all these goodbyes.
That's true.
Exactly.
It's her own doing.
Now, speaking of something arriving, a package for Serena Vanderwoodson has arrived, and it is, of course, laptop that Georgina sent out. Is Serena going to be the new Gossip Girl?
I guess.
There's going to be a whole episode and a half about, I don't know, should I do it? Should I not do it?
She was getting forwarded all the Gossip Girl emails at one point. She's
the anti-Gossip Girl. She's S by S. Her whole thing is that she hates Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
Well,
So
maybe.
what is she going to do with this laptop, though?
She's gonna have a war with herself. She's gonna write a piece, and then Gossip Girl is gonna fire back. She's gonna have two laptops on her desk at work. Why do you have two laptops?
She's going to learn how to type on 2 different computers at one time.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
That'll
be a whole storyline.
Yeah.
Serena goes to typing school.
Yeah. Maybe speaking.
That's good.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy log. I don't know what the thing
I think that's something like that. Brown log?
like that.
Brown something?
Can't be lazy.
You always
log.
talk about shit on this podcast.
Huh? Oh.
Diarrhea,
Lazy log,
brown
of
logs.
So we hear the Gossip Girl voiceover announcing that she's taking another break, but don't worry, I'll be back. I always am. And during this montage, we see Lily and Rufus out on the street with all their bags waiting for a taxi. Sucks to be them, I guess. And Blair enters Dan's loft. And Dan thinks she's here to tell him what a horrible person he is, but that's not why she came. Dan asks if she got back together with Chuck. But that's not it either. Dan asks if she's moving to Desert Island, and now all of a sudden he's very happy to see her now that she's not back together with Chuck. And Blair says that she told Chuck he doesn't have her heart anymore because she realized it belonged to someone else. And they kiss, and I said, boo! I was pinning both of my cats down to the ground. I was screaming, boo! Boo!
While she's like, Dan.
Oh,
Dan.
God. Yes, Blair asked Dan if he's going to invite her in, and Dan's like, you said my name. So
You didn't
Blair
call
says it
me
again.
Hump Humphrey.
You didn't call me that Humphrey. And then it gets weird because Dan keeps telling her to say it again. Like, I'm uncomfortable.
I was like, this could have been behind closed doors.
Say my name again. Dan. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
I don't like this at
Especially
all.
for, like, for just a makeout session, it was borderline creepy.
It was creepy. I was creeped.
That's creeped. Yeah, that's
That was
fine, though.
creepy.
I didn't mind the kissing so much just because I know this is a very temporary relationship.
So you think.
I know.
Says you.
I know.
Okay.
Well, we end our episode with Dan and Blair kissing. Still don't understand how she's just in love
real
with Dan
quick.
instead of Chuck now,
When me and
but
Nicole
all right.
kiss,
Yeah.
she goes, Bren. And I go, Dan. And she goes, Bren. And I go, Dan.
It's never happened.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me. It says Ivy Dickens on the thing right there.
All right, so what happens next? Is the dowry going to be a problem anymore? What's Georgina going to do?
I'm stumped. Like, sometimes I can really feel like, oh, I know what's going to happen. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know what the laptop has to do with anything. I don't know what Jack has to do with anything. Usually it's
The laptop that's the Gossip Girl laptop. That's is Serena going to be Gossip Girl?
I know, but like, where did that come from?
Yeah, what's going on with Jack?
I have no idea.
Right?
Why
a
did she
Gossip
pick
Girl.
Serena?
Because
Well,
Georgina
we-
sent it to her.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I mean.
We don't know why Georgina
Okay,
picked Serena.
because Serena has
I feel like there's a
nothing to do
number
right
of better
now.
options, but she wants Serena.
Yeah, there's no connection there for me.
Is Ivy going to get to stay in the penthouse?
You know, I honestly, with the way Gossip Girl goes, I don't think any of these questions are going to be answered next week.
You know what? They're just going to start anew. New plots, new problems.
It's going to be new characters. They're all done.
They're all out. They're all out.
The reboot starts tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't
All
know.
new characters.
I don't know what's going to happen.
I do like when they give us some cliffhangers that are like, I don't know what's going on there, but 3 is too many for me.
But also, it ended, and Brendan was like, "No cliffhangers."
Because they didn't
Really
really
cliffhangers.
Yeah, then they're just like question marks more than a cliffhanger. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There wasn't a cliffhanger where you're like, oh?
Like, oh boy, what's
What?
that?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
get into some segments here.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's start with, of course, my favorite segment, User Review of the Week. And I did go to the wiki again, and gosh, every week, the Dare fans and the Chair fans are going at it.
Oh, boy.
They can, oh my god, everyone thinks they're right. But I took someone who, a third point of view, a little bit of a Louis defender here. And a
Ooh.
user on February 28th, 2012 says, everyone hates Louis because he doesn't suck Blair's ass anymore after all her cheating, lies, and leading him on. When she cheats on Dan or uses him for some petty revenge and he can't put up with it anymore, then the same people will turn on Dan. What will it take for people to understand that Blair is the devil and everyone she touches crashes and burns? Blair hater.
Interesting.
A Blair hater and a Louis defender.
I didn't know anybody defended Louis in the world.
Yeah.
Well, Fandom User did on February 28th, 2012.
Phantom User does not suck Blair's hump ass.
Hump ass.
This week, the episode is titled Con Air, and air spelled H-E-I-R.
Oh.
Air. Yeah. Do you have any predictions, either of you, based on the episode title?
Okay, so Con is Ivy.
Something about
Air.
The heiress to the,
I would think Air would also kind of be like Ivy.
which would have also been an astute title for this episode because all that stuff
Yeah.
happened just now. Maybe she inherits the bass industry as well. She just
Wow, she's just
everything.
inheriting everything.
Yeah.
Killing someone in the family and inheriting.
She's playing
And
real
all
life Monopoly.
And the rest of my blood, I leave to you, Ivy Dickens.
She's like, oh, I guess.
All this
Whatever.
blood for me? Oh, yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
What was that? That's how
blood.
people drink.
Chuck, that blood in you is technically mine now. It's Jack's.
Yeah, swap it over.
Your blood belongs to me. The little preview says, Ivy finds an unlikely ally in William.
Oh.
Oh.
This is how William, I guess, deals with the Lola situation, maybe.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Let's do the episode grades. Brendan, you went first last week. I'll go first this week. And all right. I guess the twist that Dr. Billy is Lola's father is pretty good, even though everyone saw it coming. Georgina, of course, still killing it in every scene she's in, even though it's getting a little convenient that she's just literally everywhere hearing everyone's secrets in order to drive the plot. Also, love Ivy getting bequeathed everything, even though the fact that she gets the penthouse is a little contrived. But, should make things interesting moving forward. But that's really all I liked. Dan and Blair taking yet another step closer to being an official couple, and the more that happens, the madder I get about it. The last scene where Blair keeps saying Dan's name was especially cringy. What the fuck is going on there? I can't do it. I don't think I should have to. So why does she still love him even after she finds out he was the one that sent in the wedding video to Gossip Girl? And I'm sorry, but her just randomly not being in love with Chuck anymore makes absolutely no sense. It's the worst reason so far that they've been kept apart, and that includes her secret pact with God. And then, in addition to all that, we have the sisterhood of the traveling laptop, and that we're just passing the torch like from one Gossip Girl to the other Gossip Girl. Everyone gets a turn to be Gossip Girl. But what the fuck is going on there? And unlike last week, there wasn't anything really that no UCB storyline that was like funny or fun to keep me invested. Like I guess besides the random Irish wake taking place all episode. So I think the presence of the polka band will bump this episode up from a D- to a straight D. But the episodes do keep getting worse to me, so I'm going to stick with my D here. Brendan, what do you grade the episode?
Yeah, I sort of agree with you. The only thing I really did enjoy was Georgina spinning her web, but it was also sort of convoluted. It wasn't by any means Georgina's best. She did a great job herself, but it was just so overly complicated and, like you said, convenient. I'm sick of Blair's excuses for not fully loving Chuck, even though she'll love him forever. It's just I'm bored of it. I've been bored of the two of them not dating for so long now, so let's just get it over with already.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that really works for me in this episode, but I didn't hate it just because at least it was crazy and kooky like a Gossip Girl episode. So it's not going to be a full failure, but I'm going to give it a D+.
D+, all right. Ballpark Bud so far. Nicole, what do you give the episode?
I kind of forgot that I have to grade it because I haven't been on the show in a while, but I liked this episode. I mean, I liked that things are kind of coming to a head, like in a lot of different areas. Like the Ivy plot line is kind of like taking a turn. She's not just like this whiny person anymore. Like I feel like there's gonna be something, like we read about the next episode, there's gonna be something more going on with her, which I'm looking forward to seeing, because for a while I was like, stop bringing her back, like we're done with her, what's the point? Yeah, I know,
He's a main character.
well, is she? I don't know. I just enjoyed it. I don't know. I just felt like there was a lot of like twists and turns that took us to the end of this episode. I don't like it enough to like give it like an A or a B or anything, but I was going to go like C- somewhere in there. Just thoroughly enjoyed. Like there wasn't a minute where I was like annoyed, except for when Serena's on the screen. She's the only one that I roll my eyes every single time I see her. But I would go, C-, I guess.
Okay.
C-, just under average.
Mm-hmm.
And even that was enough where you felt the need to have to defend yourself for how high you were.
Yeah. I was like, sorry, guys.
Ballpark Buds here. Only C-, only one slot above a D+.
Yeah.
There's only one slot above a D.
There you go.
Or Stepladder. Stepladder sisters.
Love that for us.
All right. Let's do some MVPs. To Ivy Dickens, I leave you everyone's money, Lily's penthouse hotel room, all of Jack's blood, and this MVP award. She really is the winner of the episode. She gets everything, so she is my MVP. Nothing more to explain there. Brendan, who's your MVP?
I'll give my MVP to Georgina because she's the only reason why I somewhat enjoyed the episode. She comes in, fucks shit up, and leaves and sends Serena a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
She has her fun.
She's the reason for the season. Nicole, who's your MVP?
I also was going to say Georgina. She just had me on the edge of my seat the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
Listen, Georgina's always a great answer to get MVPs. So, LVP, so many options, but, much to Nicole's delight, I'm sure I'm going to go with Serena again. Like,
Nice.
Ivy is running around impersonating Lola and stealing her money, and Serena is so unbearable that Lola actually takes the con artist's side. Like, that's a very impressive level of unbearableness. For Lola to be like, yeah, I get where the criminal is coming from, like, really says something about Serena, and she is really annoying, like, blatantly trying to manipulate Lola into being undyingly loyal to the cult that is the Vanderwoodson family, and just assuming that Lola will side with the snooty rich people because she's technically one of them, all while refusing to realize like how out of touch her family is. And then at the end of the episode, she's left depressed, laying in her bed without anything. So Serena is my loser and LVP of the episode. Brendan, who's your LVP?
My LVP, I think I'm going to continue to go to Carol as long as she's here. She just annoys the shit out of me. I can't listen to her talk. I can't look at her mouth while it's open. Yeah, she's so bad.
It's this.
Yeah, she shows her teeth too much.
Like, just close your mouth.
It's an intimidation tactic, but it's working on the end.
She's snarling at everybody.
She's a snarl. Yeah.
All right, so another LVP for Carol. Nicole, who's your LVP this week?
Who's my LVP? I might go Serena. She just annoys the crap out of me. Like, everything about her, she's like, she contradicts herself. She just wants everything. She's just the world's biggest brat, and I just hate her. The show would be better without her.
Wow.
And I know
she's a hypocrite.
She's a main character, right? That was what you said to me.
A main character,
but just won't work for me.
Main character, can't kick her out.
Well, that's not true. Jenny's gone. Eric's gone.
Yeah.
Serena could go somewhere if she wanted to.
Not if Jack gives him.
She would not fare well in the oil rig.
She would not what?
She would not fare well in the oil rig.
Oh, no. She'd be terrible.
No.
So that does it for the segments, except, of course, for everyone's favorite segment, Lonely Boys Theater. And we're going to do a great scene where Ivy kicks out her fake aunt and uncle out of her new penthouse. So who's who? Brendan, you love Lily, but she only has the one line. Do you want to be Lily?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Nicole, would you like to be Ivy or Rufus?
I'll be Ivy. Well, all right, yeah, so I could be Ivy, I guess. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so I'll be that hump Rufus Humphrey.
Hump.
Hump.
Does everyone have their scripts in front of them?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, well then, Ivy, take it away.
I'm sorry. Am I interrupting something?
Yeah, you are. It's been a long day for everyone, and I think it's best if you'd left.
I was just going to say the same thing, but to the two of you.
What are you talking about?
This is my apartment now?
You are not the captain now. That's ridiculous. You think we're just going to let you live here? This all just needs to get sorted out.
Naturally, but you'll have to do it from someplace else. Perhaps Brooklyn?
Let's go to my house, everybody!
Please, for the love of God.
Ivy, can I please bring my waffle maker with me, please? Please?
That's my waffle maker now. Cece says so.
No! All right. Oh, but we still have my green puffy jacket.
We are not fucking in the green jacket again.
Thank God you made me leave it in Brooklyn. Now we can fuck in the green puffy jacket. And we did that scene exactly as it was written on the page. That was really good. Everyone is clapping for us.
The crowd goes wild.
Everyone's throwing their cats up in the air right now.
Cats in the air in celebration. Oh boy, that does it for all these segments. Just got some plugs to do now. But first, Nicole, thank you for showing up to the crematorium on such short notice. Thank you for joining the Six Timers Club. Is there anything you'd like to plug at this hour?
No, I don't do this stuff, so I don't really have anything to plug. What was our Over the Garden Pod was my only podcast I ever had. So if you guys want to listen to that, it's a great little show.
We got them all.
Though no longer on HBO Max, I heard.
Oh.
That's depressing.
Wow.
Is it on Hulu or something, or it's on nothing?
I didn't give it any of their blood. They couldn't. They just died.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll plug some blood transfusion places.
Okay.
Donating blood is a really good thing to do.
Sure, I've never done it because I'm scared of blood.
Me too. I've never done it, but I hear it's great. You get juice boxes and things at the end, so that's a good thing.
You can purchase an episode of Over the Garden Wall on Amazon Prime for $1.99.
Damn.
We should start charging for our podcast then.
Oh, only $16 for the whole
That's not that bad.
That's not so bad.
Not that bad.
Then I own it forever.
Well, then they could take it off that network and then it's gone.
Yeah. Do you ever really own any streaming?
No.
I don't. I don't own anything.
You need physical copies.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's why you used to always get DVDs.
That's why I get every game I get physically.
I'm plugging DVD players.
There you go.
I just started collecting CDs this Christmas.
I have a lot of CDs.
If I'll borrow them.
Recently.
I'll borrow
I
them.
did really change the game. Yeah. So. All right. Well, Brendan, what are you plugging?
I think I don't know if I've plugged this as hard recently, but I got to get back to going after the people for those $3 a month to get to that, at the very least, the Mike Bloom threshold of Cameo. We need still
Mike
4
Bloom
more
needs our
people
cameo.
to sign up for our Patreon, where we cover.
We only have 7 episodes left of the season.
I know. So that's exactly why it's getting tight here. 7 episodes left for you guys to sign up for the Patreon at patreon.com/boysmedia. That gives you access to the Sandy Boys podcast, where we are deep into season 2 coverage. I think a few episodes in there. So you get almost like 30 episodes of content for $3. That's like basically $1.
Worth it. It's worth it.
What did you say? It's basically
Anyone
$1 an episode. And that's math.
Anyone who's a patron, they say it's worth it.
Everyone. Yeah. Everyone.
We should have Charles do a PSA saying it's worth it.
Actually, I should contact all of them and have them send me a clip of them saying
At the same time.
Am I still one?
No, you're not anymore.
Okay.
Don't reveal that here. That you signed off of our Patreon because we're trying to get more with my own life.
I have to re-sign up, guys.
This is embarrassing.
All right. Well, on that note,
Cut that out.
What have I watched? I started watching Jersey Shore Family Vacation again.
Nice.
This Jersey Shore, man, I just feel at home when I watch the Jersey Shore crew.
I only ever watched it recently. Like, I just started, but I haven't finished it. But I started watching.
It's better when you know the lore, but it's still they show so many flashbacks that you.
No, I mean, like, I started watching the originals.
You know what? I went back because I was hanging out with a friend a couple days ago, and she was saying, she's like, I feel so uncultured. I've never seen Jersey Shore.
Same.
And I was like, let's watch some Jersey Shore. So we watched the first 3 episodes, and man, it was great to go back 15 years in time because I watched them as they are now. If you would have told me 15 years ago that the Jersey Shore people would still be on TV 15 years later,
it's a beautiful thing.
I would be so happy. I remember being so depressed when season 1 was ending. It happened ever like my global history teacher, Miss Stewart, of course, was like, why is the vibe off today? And we were like, it's the reunion of Jersey Shore after this. Like, they're not going to be on TV anymore. Like,
and what else did we talk about?
She was so confused, and I was explaining to her, I was like, no, it's not just a TV show ending. It's like they become part of our lives. They're like our friends right now. And out of nowhere, Lynn Perennia just backed me up. She was like, she had never talked in my class the whole year, but for the first time ever, she talked. She said, "Oh, he's right."
She was going through it just as much as you were.
I was like, "Thank you, Lynn. You get it." Just a little piece of Lynn Lord up there.
Yeah, that's really funny. She's quiet.
So watched her.
I can back you up on that.
Yeah,
I think I met her.
You have met her. Yeah.
Speaks up for the first time ever. He's right. We're our friends. I'm gonna miss Pauly D and stuff.
I'm gonna miss Snooki so much.
But then they came back for another 5 seasons, and then 6 years later, another 7 seasons of Jersey Shore Family Vacation. So you guys can watch that. Good times. But besides that, let's keep this one under the Liguori line. You can follow me on Twitter at MattyFresh24. You can follow Brendan at RuppyPuppy. You can follow his other podcast, The Hoppy Boys, at The Hoppy Boys Pod. And you can come back next week where I think we're going to have another person join the Six Timers Club as we break down Season 5, Episode 18, Con Air. But until then, you know you love us. XOXO. Lonely Boys.
Stay sandy.
Ooh, throw your cats up into the air.